What up, people? What's good? Salute.
Yes, sir.
Yo, what's good, everybody? Salute to the tribe. We're hip hop and comics and hip hop. We're a niche channel. Reserved for the best. It's super dope. I do sell comics. Check me out on Instagram at 6th_element_comics. Yeah, because comic books are the sixth element of hip hop. What's good, y'all? Sixth element of hip hop in the building. I am your host, Reno Noir, and this is my co-host, Stu Dog, right here. And we got a couple of special guests in the building. Shout out to Bloodshed Books, welcome, and Hotep from Black Lion and Cubs. My bad. Let me get that straight.
All good.
Yes, sir. And we are waiting on my man from Dismay Comics. He should be busting in here any second. All right, there he is. Look at that. Speak of the devil, he shall appear. I didn't mean to call you devil, but hey. All right, y'all. What's good, Brandon? Salute. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right, y'all. So what's going on with everybody? We got 3 guests in the house right now. I want to start with Hotep right now. Black Lions Club, man. You got something I want to talk about. You got an anime that you're working on.
Yes,
man.
Sir.
Tell us how you got into doing an anime show.
So, man, I'm gonna keep it as short as possible. So my journey really started in the mid 80s to 90s when I was coming up in high school, middle school, and high school. I'm just telling my age now. But when I was coming up in the middle and high school, I was coming up, it was Big Daddy Kane, it was Rakim, KRS-One. Those were my heroes, right? But then also, that's the reason why I salute you guys, because you're right. Comics are the sixth element of hip hop, because it was well entangled in everything that we did. So as much as I was into hip hop and came up with it in my life, I came up with comics around the same time. In fact, it was comic books that forced me to become literate and start reading, because I saw the pictures. I was excited about the pictures. I was like, well, there's words here too. Let me, instead of trying to guess what they're doing, let me actually read it. So I got actually reading through comic books. So my heroes in comic books were particularly artists, you know what I'm saying? John Byrne, John Romita Jr., of course, Frank Miller, you know what I'm saying? When he did Wolverine, he took over Wolverine and had that series that was crazy. And then when he did The Dark Knight in 1991, I was right there with it. And Todd McFarlane as well. So between the comics, between the hip hop music, and of course the original NES, right? Super Mario Brothers, Mega Man, Mania. So I don't know if you guys know all this that I'm talking about, because I might be a little older than y'all. But
well, I'm 40. I'm 43. Stu Dog is 48.
Okay.
We Gen X out here.
All right, good.
I don't know about
23. So.
Quit lying. Wish he was 23.
Yeah,
23, 30 years ago.
All of that Voltron, Thundercats,
yes,
original Transformers. So I'm giving you all the context of how I grew up and where and when I grew up. And I'm from New York, right? And I was born in 73. So we're talking about hip hop celebrating 50 years. It ain't just 50 years of hip hop, it's 50 years of Hotep too. You understand?
Right. I like that.
Yeah. So in any case, that was my life back then. Then I went to college in 91. All that was over for me, because I got into girls, I got into business, and other things. So I left all that behind and moved into business. So fast forward to 4 years ago, I had my first child, my wife and I, and then we have our second child 2 years ago. And for those of you that are parents, you have that unique experience and opportunity to relive your own childhood through your children's, because one of the things that I've experienced as a parent is the need, the express need to want to expose them to the things I grew up on. So here I am now, just about to turn 50, and I'm sharing with them Mega Man. You know what I'm saying? I'm sharing with them Transformers. I'm sharing with them comic books and hip hop. I even made a whole song, an ode to hip hop, just to put them down to the music, the golden age of hip hop, which I was a part of. So exposing them to all of that, and then eventually them getting a chance to see what anime is doing today. Because when I grew up on Voltron, there was no such thing as anime. It was just Voltron. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm exposing them to all this, and I see that my children are, captivated by particularly anime. And I said, "Oh, you guys like that? Daddy can do that too." You understand what I'm saying? That's pretty much the attitude. And so I
Yeah.
got into anime just because I love my children.
Well,
And
like we grew up on Ninja Scroll and Fist of the North Star and all of these like anime movies and stuff, and now they really heavy with the series. Now they're heavy with anime shows and stuff like that. We didn't have a lot of shows. We had movies, anime movies. That's what I remember. But now they got Naruto and DBZ and all of that, man. But you are talking about making something to rival DBZ or be in that same vein. Like, explain that.
I'm not trying to rival. So to be honest, I'm not even familiar with today's anime. Like I said, I give the context because I left all of that back when I was in my teens. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm revisiting my childhood now through my children, and from what I see today, I just don't see things that are necessarily appropriate for my children who are both 2 years old and 4 years old. You see what I'm saying? I see a lot of anime. I'm a grown man. I could watch that all day, but a lot of it today is very violent. It's over sexualized and things of that nature. So it's just not appropriate for my children. And so for me, that's why I created Black Lion and Cubs as a family-friendly anime series so that my children could watch it. And I so that's why it's done that way. The reference to Dragon Ball Z really just because I know Dragon Ball Z was the last thing that I remember as far as anime is concerned before I left, totally checked out. So for me, Dragon Ball Z is the standard bearer, if you will,
right?
Dope anime that's really the big deal. So when I reference Dragon Ball Z and say, I'm trying to make Black Lion and Cubs the next biggest thing since then. That's why I use that language, because it's pretty much Dragon Ball Z is the only real big anime series that I'm familiar with. You see what I'm saying? So that's the reference point there.
Okay. Makes sense. That makes sense. Corey said, "Where's Black Lions from? Lion Club from? I know you're from New York. Where like my family's from Queens and Brooklyn. Where are you from?"
So I was born in Queens. We moved out to Long Island.
Me too.
So I spent the majority of my childhood in Long Island. And then my father, when my parents got divorced, my father lived in the Bronx and my mother's family was still in Queens. So at any given time throughout the week, I'm in Queens, I'm in Long Island, or I'm in the Bronx 161st Grand Concourse.
Yes, sir. That's what's up, man. I'm born in Queens, Masbeth, Queens, and my grandfather and like my whole generation, everybody's from Brooklyn or Queens, except my father's side, he's from Boston. But yeah, man, we New York native, man. And shout out to Stu Dog just popped back in. He had a little power surge. He back in the building. He from New Jersey. He in New Jersey right now.
No, we'll forgive him. We'll forgive him.
Word. I always have to, But nah, man. So can you tell us, man? Tell us about. Well, all right. Tell us about the story behind your show.
Okay, so
the characters. What's it about?
So Black Lion and Cubs is designed to center parents and remind parents that they are their child's first hero. Every parent is a hero by nature because as a parent, we're protectors and providers, right? So in the story Black Lion and Cubs, it follows the journey of a father or a Black Lion who is a notorious Nubian warlord. He was the most notorious warrior across ancient Africa at the time. And but because of the sport, because of warfare and many years of warfare, he decides that warfare ain't cool no more, man. Like this ain't the lifestyle for me. And so he commits his life to peace. That's why every time you see Black Lion, he always has a peace sign, right? Now, of course, you guys know for hip hop, that's part of a throwback to our hip hop culture. But so that's where the peace sign has actual meaning, in that reference. So. He's committed to a life of peace. He decides to quit working for the Pharaoh of Upper Egypt and goes back to Nubia to raise his two sons. His young sons, he decides that if he's going to live a lifestyle of peace, his children still need to be able to protect themselves. So he teaches them in the ancient spiritual arts of Ma'at, right? And so Ma'at is dealing with the balance of spirituality and just a lot of symbolism and power is involved in, and spirituality is involved in understanding what Ma'at actually is. So he raises them, helps them understand that. That's why you see on the left and right, you see the symbols from ancient Egyptian mythology and spirituality. You got the Duat, and then you have the Ankh. So anyway, his children have a telekinetic connection to these symbols, and it allows them to tap into their own power. There you go. Somebody got it right. Yeah. So the symbols allow them to tap into their own innate power. And that's just a reminder to all human beings, but particularly our children, that power doesn't come from the outside. Power comes from within. And so as he teaches his children, they start to tap into their power, and the series follows them through different adventures as they get called upon by the king, the pharaoh that they used to work for, as he's warring against the pharaoh of Lower Egypt. And so that's pretty much the whole story behind the father who doesn't fight. So Black Lion never fights. The story really follows his two sons as he protects and advises them and guides them through their journey and through their battles. And when you see the fighting scenes, the way I got over making the fighting scenes too violent was really making it more like, and I'm glad to be on you guys' show because you'll understand this. You know, I made the fighting scenes more like the breakdance battles that we used to have in the 80s, right? So
I knew
instead of reverting, for those that are not familiar how breakdancing came about or the battles in breakdancing, right? In New York in the 70s, it was really violent. It was a horrible place, man. It was dirty, it was grimy, and there was a lot of violence, a lot of gang violence in particular. And so one of the things that people started doing in the streets of New York is saying, hey, listen, you know what? The violence ain't cool, man. We're killing each other. We're killing our family members. Let's find an alternative to that. So they started using dance as a way to, compete. And
settle disputes and beefs.
Yes, right. To settle the beefs, you know what I'm saying? So you're settling beefs through demonstrating your ability to dance and move and, so on and so forth. Same with the freestyles. So the same thing with Black Lion and Cubs. Instead of them, using hand-to-hand combat and ripping guts out and such, they're more just showing their powers and expressing their powers in certain kinds of ways to demonstrate and to show who's more powerful. And then the one that wins is the one that forces the other to submit. So there's no killing, there's no destruction, it's just submission. Like, okay, my power is greater than yours, I submit, you got it. And that's pretty much how I got around the violence.
Man, that's fly, man. That's for the young kids, man. That is dope, man. I dig that. I really do. I really like that, man. It's a great concept, just the concept alone, but having it something for the kids is rare. Now real quick, where, and we're gonna come back to you, but I do have we got a full roster, but where can we see some episodes? Tell them where to find this show.
That's a great question. So to stay in alignment with my desire to build strong children, that's the theme for the rest of my life. Anybody that knows me now knows that the theme and chapter of life that I'm in is building strong children. It comes from a statement from Frederick Douglass, who once said that it's easier to build strong children than to repair broken men. Right?
Say that one more time.
It's easier to build strong children than repair broken men.
That's right.
And so
it starts in the home.
I'm a former teacher. You see what I'm saying? So I've seen firsthand how powerful the opportunity is to build human beings while they're young. And so, and I've also, been a coach to entrepreneurs, and I've seen the damage that occurs during people's childhood that manifests itself throughout adulthood, that keeps people from being successful and building the relationships that they want, getting the money that they want, so on and so forth. So I got tired of trying to work with adults because the cement's too hard with adults. Adults hard-headed. They think they're grown, especially men. You can't tell them nothing. So I've committed my life to focusing on the building of strong children. That being said, Black Lion and Cubs is only available, the cartoon at least, is only available on a network that's in alignment with that desire of mine. It's called Black Education Station. Black Education Station is a streaming service. It's just like Netflix. It's just like Disney, but it's Black owned. All the content is created by Black people with the express interest of empowering and educating Black children, and all children, not just Black children, but particularly it is designed to showcase Black intelligence, Black excellence, and Black people as the heroes and main characters as opposed to the sidekicks and the tokens that you typically see them as in typical children's shows. So blackeducationstation.com is the website. You can find it on all the apps, Black Education Station or BES TV, and so that's where it is.
Educationstation.com, right?
That's correct. That's right.
And you guys go try out the video game too. The video game is kind of.
I got to take that off. Oh man, it's gonna make me. Never mind. Well, listen, y'all know what it is. It's Black Education Station. It's messed up, but it's blackeducationstation.com. Just put it together, add a .com, and yeah, man, that's where you can see Black Lion and Cubs. Phenomenal idea, man. I really would love to see that blow up, man, because honestly, and I'm gonna keep it a buck. Anime right now is very popular in the hood. It's very popular with Black youth, and honestly, there's not great representation in anime for Black culture at all. Asian culture does not really have a good idea of how the culture really is. So it's important, man. I think it's dope to have this because, like I said, man, with the viewership, the way it is, man, it's something we need, man.
Thank you.
Definitely. Bloodshed Books. Yo, finally made it. You finally made it.
I did. I'm finally here.
That's right. So we got Bloodshed. Tell them about your store real quick. You sell comics on Instagram.
Oh yeah, IG Live. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Followers and everyone alike. Everyone's welcome. We're all comic book lovers. We're all comic book nerds, and the IG comic book community is insane. You can ask Black Hero.
Yeah.
Mad supportive of each other, and it's crazy positive. And yeah, I make a little money on the side, but for real, let's be honest with you, we just pass books between each other. You know what I mean?
Keep it a buck. No, that's what it is, because we be on there selling books, but 9 times out of 10 it be just us sellers who's buying
to each other.
9 times out of 10.
And she
really
has good prices too, man, because some of these prices are just getting insane and crazy. $300 for a static issue #1. Like seriously? No. Yeah. Great prices.
Yeah, it's crazy to see. What I try to do is, okay, why would you come and spend your time on my live with me and pay more than you would if you went down the street to your LCS? That doesn't make any sense. And you got to pay shipping. That doesn't make any sense.
And you got to pay shipping. Exactly.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. So I try to make it basically worth it. And it's always cool. You know what I'm saying? You meet all kinds of different people and from all over the country. It's actually pretty dope. I've only been selling since June. I've been in the IG community a little over a year, maybe not longer. So wow. So I started off, I still am. I just collect. That's my collection. Actually, some of it. I just collect. And then one day it clicked and I was like, well, you know what? Let me see if I can give back. So then I did a show and I was like, oh, snap. Then I did another show and another show. And now here we are. And I was Bloodshed Books.
That's how I got into it kind of too. I mean, I was doing the YouTube show and then I wanted to get I started the IG channel just to bring viewers to the YouTube show, and met these other dudes that was on there selling comics on these lives, and I didn't know that was a thing. And I'm watching them, and they all are on there, and they're stumbling over each other and trying to sell them. And it's like 2-3 guys on there, and they're trying to show their books, and it's all fun. I'm like, y'all, you know what? You guys need a host. You need somebody that can sit there and organize and tell people who we looking at and what's next, and da. And they were like, you want to do it? And I was like, yeah, let's do it. So I started hosting for them. And then, like you, I was like, man, I might as well start throwing some of my books in there too, man. Then I got into selling comics, and I was doing that for a while, like probably about a year and a half. And,
I'm just mad greedy. I see something, I'm like, I want it, and I get it. And so, like, when it came to selling, I really, it was so hard. It's so hard being a collector and then selling.
I'm telling you, it is. It's kind of like getting high on your own supply. You cannot do it. Like you can't. You can't. Yeah, because I get books, man. It's like, man, I'm not selling this.
Since I don't want it, I'm not doing it. I don't care. Yeah, I'm not doing it. It's mine, and that happens a lot. Well, it happens every show. Actually, I'll be going through for sale, but I'll be like, change my mind. Let me put this up. You know what I mean? But it's fun, man. Of course, it's comic books. Love is the heart. Community is strong, and I know I'm in love. I love it. I'm gonna keep doing it.
For real, man. I mean, it's a big community. But knowing Rad was out there, I had to stop selling. I sold for Whatnot. On Whatnot, I got into Whatnot for like one sale, and I realized that they want every book to be $1, and I'm not selling $300, $400, $500, $600, $700, $1,000 books. So me starting my auctions at $1 when it's only a $15 book, I'm not going to end up making any money. And then I lost a lot of money that day, and I never went back, never again.
See, I don't know nothing about Whatnot. I'm pretty much going to stick to IG. I don't really plan on any eBay sales or anything like that. But I've heard some things about Whatnot as far as like the money part of it goes. They say the money flows, but it's hard to, really, like you said, get your hands on it, if that makes sense.
It's kind of hard to get on. I like there is good money there to be made. There's a lot of customers and whatnot. I mean, obviously, but they take a decent cut for one thing. That's one thing on IG. You're your own person.
That's my money.
Yeah. Everything is your money.
That's my money.
You might have taxes with PayPal or whatever it is, but for the most part, it's your money. Whatnot takes in my opinion, again, if you're not selling few $100, $1,000 comics, that you're just selling, $10, $15, $20, $40, $50 comics at the most.
And then they take $20 from you,
and they're taking it. It's not. Yeah, it's just not really.
That's not worth it. That's not worth it. Well, that's what I say about IG. Even when what I'm saying, I'm a collector, so I'm all over those lives. Like you said, you got like 3-4 dudes all over each other. Then you got lives that's being hosted. And things like that. And it's kind of like I've seen all the different dynamics. I think that's why I waited so long before I did my first show.
Okay.
So I'm still getting into the groove of my own thing. And then we had that page fiasco. We ain't gonna talk about that. I'm not gonna bring up painful memories.
Oh no.
But I'm just I'm kicking it. Just a chicken and comic books. You feel me? Even without IG, I'll still be here with my comic books. So.
they take 11%. eBay takes 14%. It just depends, though. But it depends. I don't know. It's the way they do it. It works.
And you gotta pay taxes.
Shipping can kill a deal. I'm telling you. And Stu Dog knows about that. Stu Dog, man, tell him about shipping, man. Stu Dog will not buy some shit if they charge shipping.
Yeah, it's a bit much.
You're on mute, bro. You're muted or something.
It's a bit much. If you buy one $15 book, it's $10 to ship one book. That's not worth it.
Yeah,
it's not worth it. Especially when you can just go down to the store and get the book. You feel what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, it's a bit much when it comes to it. I'm not even going to front.
Exactly.
But I'm not here for the money. I'm here for the books. I was here for the books day one, and I'll be here for the books to the end, basically. Just so happens you can make some money.
Right. It's a bonus. Yeah, you can make some money. It's a little bonus, but for the most part, it's about the books and the fun, the camaraderie, and the collecting. Like Lauren Rad said, I'm a collector first. I don't know. Stu, did you get your mic on? His mic is muted. Something wrong with your mic.
Yeah, that would be a no. I don't think the mic's on.
It's not muted on StreamYard. Try your I don't know, your mic, whatever you're using. It's not. I don't know, something ain't working. Anyways, shout out to Stu Dog, man. He's trying to get it working, but it's all good. Dismay Comics, Brandon Ingram in the building. What's good, man?
Doing pretty good. Sorry if my voice sounds a little bit hoarse. I got back from a con last night, and
that's right.
It was a lot of fun, but like whenever you get back, I don't have con crud. I don't think I do. Like I've tested for COVID and stuff like that, None of that. It's just one of those things where you need a day to just like recover. And I did that this morning, so I'm feeling a lot better.
That's good. Man, tell us about your Kickstarting program. What's going on, man? You are creating a comic. Is this a hip hop comic? Is it a graphic novel? Tell us about it.
So it's a comic book. This is kind of like a spin-off of a series I have going, but you don't have to read the series I have going to get into it. It's set in the 1940s. Like I'll first mention the spin-off portion of it. So the spin-off portion is called The Gallows Man. That's the series it's spinning off from. The Gallows Man is basically mix Adam West Batman with Inglorious Bastards. Like you pretty much have like, it's set in the 1940s. You have like the fun campiness of Adam West Batman, like the fun jovialness, like, oh, let's get him, chum. All while like he's beating up and killing Nazis pretty much violently. So the spin-off comic is called Tales from Town City, where it follows like minor characters from that world. And the spin-off comic Tales from Town City is the first issue. Has a few different stories. One story is about two homeless villains trying to use expired coupons and it not going so well. Another story is a team of super animals, kind of like DC's Super Pets, a team of super animals slaughtering poachers, slaughtering animal poachers. And I'll say that team of animals, the name is Fierce Pets, and PETS is an acronym, stands for Precise Ecosystemic Tactical Squad, kind of harkening back to those Wildcats days, the covert action teams and stuff. So it's kind of this over the top. Thank you. Yeah, I drew some inspiration with some of the action and stuff through that. It's ultimately these comedy books and like a hyperized world of desensitized violence, because it does harken back to the golden age of comics, where at that time it was insane, where you had all these heroes and stuff, superheroes, or what people would call heroes, just killing like any bad guy they see, a mugger, yes, murders and stuff, but sometimes it could just be like petty crime and someone's killing them. And then there's like a little kid reading this book like, oh yeah, I want to be like so-and-so. I look up to so-and-so. It's like, I don't know if that's who you should be looking up to. This is basically a hyperization of that, to where like this world that it's in is like extremely desensitized to this violence, basically.
Do you have is there a website or
Yeah, here, I'll let me see. I will send you a link real quick. Yeah, it's on Kickstarter. It's Tales from Town City. Let me pull this up. Okay, I just sent the link.
All right.
Yeah, and there's a page that gives preview pages of the comic. Also, there's trailers and just information about the comic and different stuff.
Yeah, that's what we're looking for. That's what we want to see. That's what we need. All right, let's get up in there. There we go. Kickstarter. Here we go. Let's share some screen right here. There we go. Come on. It takes a while. There's like 17 buttons you got to click, and then you got to adjust this. There it is. All right. Tales from Towns City, #1 Golden Age superhero dark comedy. Homeless villains and their expired coupons, super animals slaughtering poachers, and a mortician making sense of dead villains' names. I wonder if we can.
Spinning straight from the pages of The Gallows Man comes a brand new series of tales. Not tales as in what furries wish they had behind them, but rather the story type of tales, like what you would find in a comic book. Speaking of which, this is an ad for Tales from Town City #1. This anthology series follows lesser-known characters that were introduced in the Gallows Man miniseries. Characters like Hypno Ray and the Rusty Hook. You'll follow these of super animals slaughter poachers on the daily. And there's even more characters that you'll just have to wait and see for yourself. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, if Tales from the Town City spins off from the Gallows Man series, do I need to read the Gallows Man to get Tales from the Town City? The answer is no, you silly listener. You don't need to read the Gallows Man to enjoy the stories found within Tales from the Town City. Each issue and story found within Tales from Town City is self-contained. So what are you waiting for? Support Tales from Town City #1 by backing it on Kickstarter today.
Dope.
Why has it come to this? I mean, how the hell did Gallows Man do well enough to warrant a spin-off? Why did I even take this gig? I mean, they had me read a dumb little ad and then force me to say things like, my name is Jeff, and ice cream, so good, gang, gang. Like, when is it enough? If I said, shout out to Little Big Joe, keep it 100 G, would that be enough to satiate their hunger? Or would I have to humiliate myself and say something as repulsive as, I do declare there is feces running down my pants as we speak? When will it be enough? I may never know.
Yeah, with the ending, we this is our third time doing a trailer with this narrator guy, and each one we have him. I made sure before I even sent it to him that he was okay with saying ridiculous stuff. He is all for it, so I would send a script basically like me and my buddy are like, what do you want to hear a 1940s radio announcer say? Just the most random stuff. And so just kind of put random things in at the end.
Yeah, man, it works. When you had the goal of $1,000, and looks like you beat that. You got 1,778 already. So that's good, right? Yeah, man.
Oh yeah, thank you.
So what is your goal? What when you get the $1,000, what do you is that pay for? What does that do? I don't know really a whole lot about Kickstarter, how it works.
Yeah. So how I
book out like.
How I use Kickstarter, I use it because when it comes to like making the book, like I write, I edit, I do all that stuff, but I hire artists and I pay out of pocket for artists. So I go ahead and pay out of pocket for artists, get the whole book made before I launch a Kickstarter. Like it's completely done. Like this issue 1's completely done to where the funds are basically for two things. It's essentially people are pre-ordering the book, which it's already done, so they will get the book. Pre-ordering the book, and then printing costs. That's essentially the funding that I do is for the printing itself.
How much does it cost to print?
So to print, it depends on the quantity. So the quantity usually, I mean, I usually print like at least a couple hundred copies to like a few hundred copies. I've never printed like 1,000 copies, but usually the printer I go through after shipping and everything, it's about $3.50 to $4 a copy, about $3.50 a copy. Like whenever I'm printing them all together, like buying in mass.
So that's $3.50 for the whole mass, or
per book? Per book. Yeah, per book. Yeah.
Well, that's why indie comics are not like you get a Marvel comic, right, for $3.95 or whatever, or Image $2.99. Indie books are never cheap because it costs like that much to print the book.
Yeah, because Marvel will print thousands, if not tens of thousands of books, and that cuts down the cost, as well as Marvel. I'll say specifically Marvel. DC a little bit this, but definitely Marvel has been skimming out on paper quality the past few years, to where like if you've got a Marvel book since like COVID, if you got a Marvel book then, like that paper quality, in my opinion, sucks. I hate the paper quality now. Yeah,
it's really thin. It's like a thin shitty magazine.
Yeah, like to where if you mess up just a little bit, you're going to crinkle or dent the page. It's infuriating. But with a lot of indie, not indie comic printers, but a lot of comic printers out there that indie comic publishers use have like pretty good paper quality.
Yeah, that's true. That's true too. Yeah, for sure.
Because remember, they changed the paper quality in the 90s from the regular
newspaper, that
magazine type.
Yeah, glossy.
With the gloss, with the gloss on them.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're going back to, they're doing something different. But I guess every so often they have to change it. And I don't, maybe for preservation or even for, eco reasons.
Right.
But it is inevitable that it will change no matter what. And the quality is just, that's going to be up to us to judge.
Right.
And this is just me as a comic fan, because I read Marvel, DC, Boom, like all the indie stuff and smaller indie stuff. What's infuriating with me, at least with Marvel, I've seen, is like they will go down in paper quality and yet increase the price of the comic itself. Because like the past couple of years, there's like $5.99 comics coming out, and the paper quality still sucks. Like, just me as a fan, it's infuriating.
Yeah. I feel you, man. I feel you. So guys, check that out. You guys, go check out his Kickstarter. It's Dismay Comics on Instagram at Dismay Comics. And yeah, man, it's a dope little anthology, man. I see it going places, man. That's what's up. And let's I want to show real quick the anime here. Watch our new anime series exclusive on BES. Hotep. This is you right here.
So I don't own Black Education Station, but yeah, that's my series right there. That's the promotion for my series. It's the main feature on the network right now.
Dope. And
let's see. You guys are doing amazing, man. Keep up the good work, you guys. Like, real talk. You guys as creators, awesome job, man.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. So this is the trailer.
So this is actually a new promotion. Yeah. I have a trailer on the website that tells the whole story, but this is a new promo that I'm pretty proud of. So I just shared it with you guys. Yeah, this is the new trailer.
Dope.
Promo.
Here we go. Let me run it from the beginning. Yeah, man, that is dope.
Thank you.
That was dope.
That reminded me of DBZ for a second, like when Gohan uses his energy blast.
Yeah, it does. It does remind me of Dragon Ball. I mean, obviously, you could tell that you can see the influence. But the the Nubian god, the Egyptian gods. I mean, that's just a dope concept. Is something I think definitely missing from anime a lot. But this is dope.
It's funny. I saw it in a couple of the anime series. I saw them, the Asian characters in Africa and using African mythology and such. And I found it ironic. I wondered how many people knew that they were using African culture in their stories. I found that really interesting. And the music, I just wanted to say real quick, the music. So oftentimes I see a lot of people using hip hop music, a lot of trap music, or what they call lo-fi music for their trailers and for their anime. I decided, like I said, my orientation is the 80s. So and the number one cartoon that really was a reference for me, like, you guys mentioned Dragon Ball Z. The truth is, I never even really watched Dragon Ball Z. Someone mentioned Boondocks. I was never into Boondocks. It just happens that my children look like, my children look like that. You see,
right.
But the music, I decided to go, I guess against the grain, or if you will, retro. Voltron was my standard for when I created an anime. I said that I wanted to create something that reminded me of Voltron, even the way it's animated, the simplistic animations and the way they did that. Makes it cheaper to my man Brandon over there who's doing good work. But salute to you. You know, it made it a lot cheaper for me to use the retro styles because retro styles today are less expensive. They're easier to create. And so that's part of, you know, so that's a benefit of going retro. But if you guys remember Voltron, the music for Voltron was real epic. You know, you didn't really hear, there was no rapping, there was no beat. It was just, you know, the horns and the fanfare. And so that's,
the guy would start talking long ago. And
yes.
Like,
and so
that Thundercats shit.
See, Stu, you remember that, right?
The Thundercats shit too.
Listen,
I like that.
I'm a real big fan of Voltron. I used to run home from school to see Voltron, right?
All right, I am gonna lie. I saw something
captivated me, man.
I saw something in there. He's wearing a ring. What's the significance of that ring?
So my first company, my flagship company, if you will, is called Hustle University. Hustle University is started off as an entrepreneur development company, but because I was a school teacher and I got tired of working with entrepreneurs, I transitioned to working with schools. So it's an education consulting firm. This is the Hustle University Championship ring, right? All my champion hustlers on the team. So yeah, that's what that is right there. Mm-hmm. Thank you for asking, by the way.
I got that. That's dope. Okay. But in the anime, there's a ring in which he's drawing power in the ring on his hand. Is there an origin or a story behind the ring on the boy's hand?
Man. Hey, Hotep, I thought she meant the ring on your finger too, so don't feel bad.
Hey, man, that's actually kind of cool. I ain't gonna front. I'm not even mad that I heard that story. You know what I'm saying? But no, I was talking about the ring in the anime.
That's funny. You know what? I think the artist just threw that, made it look like that. But there is no actual. I mean, now maybe in the future I might create one just because you gave me that idea.
Yeah.
There is no ring in the story thus far. Yeah. It's just the headbands. You know, they have.
Man, nah, that's false advertising. Yeah, I don't need that ring to do something right there. I was hyped. I was like, oh shit, look at this ring. That was dope, though. That's dope. I like what you're doing.
Thank you. Appreciate you. I'm gonna have to put that in the third series.
You got a lot of Egyptian gods. You got a lot of Egyptian gods in there. Is that a big part of the story, or are they just, based on, like you said, expanding the culture and letting people, because a lot of people don't know a lot about the Egyptian gods.
Right. So the use of the Egyptian gods. So not only is my series family friendly, but it's also low-key educational as well. Now, of course, it's a fantasy story, but it's designed to make people curious about African culture, right? I wanted to make African culture look cool. But then, so when I mentioned, King Khufu or King Ramses, right? Or I mentioned the Valley of the Kings, which is the name of the first series that I have. It's designed so that when people watch it, hopefully I'm expecting that parents and their children, families watch it together, and people get curious. So who's Thoth or who's Horus? Who was right? And obviously these, some of these people in ancient Egyptian mythology are good or bad or represent positive and negative frequencies. But in my story, you have one pharaoh and another, two different pharaohs, one represent upper Egypt and one representing lower Egypt. One wears a mask. And so for some people, he might be the bad king. But as you go through the story, no one's considered bad or evil. You're wondering, it's written in such a way where you're like, well, is he really a bad guy? Why? It's designed to unravel as you go through the series. So I'm not, I can't talk about if anybody's bad or good, but there is a competition, if you will, and conflict in the story, but it's designed to lead to a bigger purpose as we move forward through the different series.
The northern guy that you were talking about that wears the mask, why did that put me in the mind of the western deity Anansi, the spider guy that wears the mask? That's how he's portrayed. He has on an African mask, and he's got 8 human legs, and he's got the arms. It's like Anansi was the one that split day into night. Because
it's funny that you say that. As I'm check this out, right? So as I'm unraveling the story and such, it's interesting when I look at it today how much of it really is a reflection of how I grew up. Like, my name is Hotep. Now, I know today Hotep is used in a negative manner, like,
Hotep cat, right?
Yeah, right. But my point is, I was named that way. My parents named me with intention. They named all, me and my brothers with intention. And so I was exposed to African culture. It was just a natural part of my household. The same way for my children, they're 2 and 4, but they'll talk about Thoth, and they don't even know what a Naruto is. They know who Thoth and Anubis is, though, in my household. So,
right. My son too.
Yeah. So my point is, the Anansi story is something I grew up on very young, and several other stories that my parents exposed me to. And it's interesting how that seed that was planted long ago,
and it all just kind of came together and accumulated into. I like that. That's dope. That's dope.
So basically, your parents named you in the traditional ways of our people. Basically.
Absolutely, which I believe all people should do. You know what I'm saying? I believe that a name it gives definition and purpose to a human being.
Right.
And as a parent, we should be very conscious and intentional about how we name our children. It gives us the opportunity to affirm power, affirm their culture, all kind of things.
Right.
And
exactly.
all the time,
man, they dooming these kids from birth with some of the things that they're doing. Like, you ain't gotta name them Eugene or Ethel, but damn.
Nah, yeah, because my son is Blaze Morris. My son is Blaze Kanye. He's Italian and he's African, and he's Italian African, so he has an Italian name and an African name.
I feel that, but it's not like the old times. You know what I'm saying? As long as you ain't naming them, you know what I'm saying?
John
like, this is my daughter Gretel.
Mary.
You feel what I'm saying? But you ain't gotta. Their name is just L, just an L. That's it.
I've seen some stuff. I've seen some stuff, man. But
look at that.
I've always been a big fan of naming kids and having the names have a good meaning behind it. Being
strong names.
Have y'all read this?
Yeah. I feel that. A legacy. You want to pass on a legacy. I feel that.
Have you read this?
What is that? What you got there?
American Gods?
Not me.
No, not me.
Got a copy, never cracked it. I just got the copy too.
I'm telling you, bro. That shit is next level. They did a show on, I think, was it Netflix?
I knew it. I knew they did a show named American Gods. I knew that's why I saw that. I knew it. I thought it was tripping.
I'm not sure what it was on. It was on damn, what channel was it on? But yeah, they just like 2 seasons.
What is American Gods? Y'all got educators here.
I'm telling you, bro. Neil Gaiman. So this is the same guy that did Sandman, which they definitely just did a show on Netflix, Sandman. And he's like a super dope, like just comic dude. But graphic novels. Like it's always a graphic novel with him. He don't do like just comics. He does a whole like epic saga. And this shit, it's just deep, man. It's like gods from all over, different
everybody. It's got everybody.
Like she said Anansi, that made me remember because
everybody, Anansi, Hecate, everybody from the Pantheon. Like American Gods, they got everybody. The show was a modernized adaptation. You see what I'm saying? Because of course they're ancient gods, but of course they're coming to you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, 2020.
You feel me?
Damn near beat for beat.
Everybody.
Like the show is damn near beat for beat. Like the shit out of the book is damn near like it's almost 1 for 1. I mean, everything is in the show. I mean, everything from the book is in this. Look. They not playing.
That's it. I'm cracking my book. I'm doing that shit tonight. Right now. Yeah.
I'm telling you. Yeah, it's legit. But yeah, we got hold on. I want to see this other. Is this part of your is this one of the Hotep? Is this one of your
you're talking about okay. So what you're looking at right there is
let me get it back up.
I have several different when I launched Black Lion and Cubs, I launched a cartoon, a motion manga, an album, and a video game. So I have those 4 properties. And so what you have right here is the motion manga, which I kept in black and white. So that's just a trailer for that.
Okay. All right. This is dope. I'm gonna run this. Y'all can read that?
No, I can't even see it. Oh, okay, it is. Yeah, I got it.
So just to give a little context on what you got, you going down a rabbit hole now, my brother. All right.
Yeah,
so,
see, this is deep.
Yeah. So a few things to Stu Dog's point, like he mentioned this when he talked about Voltron. So the other part of Voltron, besides the fanfare of the music, was that voice. You know what I'm saying? The narration. So my cartoon series is totally narrated. It's not dialogue based. And that did a few different things for me. But number one, it just, as a parent to young children, I wanted to create the experience where, as a parent reads to their child, that kind of experience where, you're reading and your children are really getting into the art of storytelling. And so the motion manga is very different from, although the story is the same for every episode, the way I present it is different. So the motion manga, instead of having the guy with the real deep voice, it's a different. I have a narrator for the cartoon. For the motion manga, it's my voice. I do the narration. I did that as a demo for, my narrator. And then I use different music. As you see, I use lo-fi music for the motion manga. And so I, just decided to create different entities in different ways because people have different preferences. You know what I'm saying? I did a screening for a group of kids. They liked the black and white motion manga more than they liked the full color anime series cartoon. And I found that really interesting. So different folks,
Black and white, it is. Black and white is dope, man. Especially when you got movement and you telling a story with it, man. For some reason, it captivates me even now. I just seen a thing on YouTube the other day. We had Batman in black and white. It was like a little trailer for a cartoon that they never did, that they're now supposed to be putting out on Amazon. And just the way they presented it in black and white, I thought it was dope. I was like, yo, why did you never put this? Why we never got this?
It's classic. The black and white is classic.
The black and white is classic.
Yeah.
It'll never die. It'll never die.
Yeah. Now when you narrated it, did you Hotep, when you narrated, did you narrate it in your own voice or did you disguise your voice? It was like, like a Voltron voice or like Peter Cullen. Did you make yourself deeper? You know what I mean? Yes, this is Black Lion Club.
That's a good question. Nah, I kept it in my own voice. I was told that my reading voice is really nice and calming, and so I decided to use my own voice for that. And also because, again, a lot of this started because I was doing something for my own children at home. So, and because I tour a lot as a speaker, I wanted them to have an opportunity to hear my voice, hear Daddy reading to them, if you will, and create that kind of sense so that when I'm gone, their mother can play it for them, and they know it's me. Keep staying connected with my sons,
Right, man. That's dope. That's deep, man. We should all try to take time, with our kids, man, and really, sit, because you'd be surprised. A lot of parents that don't sit down and teach their kids nothing. They expect the school to do all of the teaching. And they do a little bit of disciplining. And
I attribute much of my intelligence to the fact that my father used to read for me from the encyclopedia. I'm showing my age now, but from the Encyclopedia Britannica that you got online at 2:30 a.m. My dad would just pull. He'd tell me to pick it. He said, "Pick a letter." I pick a letter, and then he just opened it, and whatever he opened it to, he would read to me from it. And honestly, man, it really, really, really does go a long way, and it doesn't happen anymore. Trust me, it shows. It shows for real, man. It's fundamental.
The art of reading.
You can tell the internet is
the art
teaching
of reading. Bloodhead Comics. The art of reading is on. Besides us right here with our age group, is starting to disappear because a lot of this general X, Y, and Z, they don't want to read. They want to be read to, or they want something read to them or spoken to them.
Damn
So the
video.
actual
Yeah.
physical, right? The actual
It's
physical
exercise.
act of reading,
Exercise.
it
Yeah.
right. It works your mind, and it also expands your vocabulary. You
All
know,
that.
and
All that.
different things.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So like to
You got
me,
reading
it's something.
comprehension, you got comprehension. And that'll get you through life,
Right.
for
And
sure.
that'll get you
For
through a
sure.
lot, right? Like I just got done reading Moby Dick for the second time
Yeah.
because I never read the I had a smaller version of Moby Dick that I read. But then
Like
I just
Cliff
recently came
Notes.
across I came across the real version. I
An
came across
abridged
the large
version.
real a hardback. Yeah,
They
hardcover
got the
joint
whole
too.
shit. Blue dust off
Yeah,
of
so
it.
I read it. Yeah, I read it. And it was much more amazing reading it that way than it was the smaller version I could fit in my pocket, like when I was in high school. It was much more captivating. There's a lot more detail. It actually, to be honest with you, for lack of a better term or no pun intended, it blew me away. It literally did. The interaction with Ahab and the whale. Um, I was watching the movie the other day and they were quoting Moby Dick. I was like, yo, that's Moby Dick. I was like, yeah. So to see how that book came out as long ago as it did, and people are still quoting it now, even in modern day cinema and things like that, is
Yeah,
amazing.
straight up. Because it almost got canceled, didn't it? Or did it? And then they brought
Right.
it back. Because
Yes.
they were banning such significant books. You know what I'm saying? That are like, staples in history, things that help you. You know what I'm saying? As you develop, like these really important books, the Scarlet Letter and all these things. And like, they were just canceling it.
Those
I don't know
books,
what's going on with that.
those books are great literary works. If you had a spaceship that landed on this planet, and they were
And be
like,
them books. Straight up.
yeah, they were like, look, what are some of your great literary books? We couldn't give them the stuff that's been written now, because the stuff that was written back then, they had nothing, that they had imagination, and they thought up a lot of that stuff and antiquated it to life, like Hotep did with Black Lion. But Moby Dick is actually about a man fighting his demons through the manifestation of the whale, and that's a lot of people don't get. If you don't read it, like you said, reading comprehension, you don't get that. Les Miserables is pretty much the same thing, but it's about a man who is a detective. He's so obsessed with catching a criminal that there's one criminal he can't catch, that he's so obsessed with catching this guy that he
Jean
can't catch him.
Valjean.
Yeah, Valjean and Javert.
Jean
That
Valjean.
is classic. Valjean and Javert. That's classic
Jovi.
hero villain. Yeah, that's classic hero villain right there.
Speaking
And
of Jean Valjean. Speaking of Jean Valjean. That was who played played by Hugh Jackman.
Yes, he did play Valjean.
And yes, and speaking of Hugh Jackman, they talking about recasting Wolverine finally.
They need to, bro. It's about time.
It's here. Kevin Feige.
You ain't serious, are you? They gonna take away Hugh? He leaving.
Listen, let me just break it down. Okay, so Hugh's here for Deadpool 3. He's coming back for Deadpool 3. He's gonna wear the costume. Woo. He's done 10 movies. We've seen Hugh. He's great. He's Wolverine. He's embodied the character. He is Wolverine. He's the best to ever do it. Don't get another guy just like him, because you cannot compare nobody. He's not going to be comparable. He's not going to be replaceable. He is the character. The only thing they can do is give us a comic accurate, short, stocky, ugly, animalistic, not 6 foot pretty boy, Hollywood, guy, but a guy that looks like a grumpy little bastard, from like the comics.
You mean like old Logan, like the gritty shit, like back in the like
from the
comics. from the roots kind of thing.
So listen, in the comics,
like the Canadian version of Wolverine.
Yes. In the comics, Wolverine is like 5 feet tall. He's stocky.
Hairy as a bitch.
He's hairy. You know what I'm saying? He's you know what I'm saying? He's not 6-foot leading man Hugh
No.
Jackman. But it's fine that Hugh Jackman did what he did because he killed it. He really, you know, Fox is the one started all that, but then he took it and he really did great shit with the character throughout his tenure as the character. So I don't want to take nothing from Hugh Jackman, but I personally have always wanted a live action comic accurate Wolverine. And we're finally getting that after Deadpool, after this whole Kang phase, which Jonathan Majors is back. We're going to talk about that in a second. But after the whole Kang phase, is going to be a mutant phase, right? So the next phase is going to be all about mutants. And they will have a new guy playing Wolverine at that time because Hugh Jackman will be too old. He's already killed the character in the movie Logan. The guy's dead. The Deadpool thing is a multiversal funny movie, you know, not to be taken super seriously version of the character. He's just coming back for one last time, but he has the character is dead. So that guy's not coming back. Unfortunately, if that's your favorite Wolverine, that guy's not coming back. But if, like me, you've been dying to see a live action Wolverine that looks like the guy from the comics, I hope that Feige is smart enough to not try and recast a guy that is like a Hugh Jackman. Because some of the guys that we've seen, the fan castings, have been a little Hugh Jackmanish. And it's like you're trying to compare, or you're trying to give us a Wolverine that is going to be compared to Hugh Jackman.
You got somebody in mind?
No. Well, what? For my comic actor Wolverine?
You got somebody in mind?
No.
Itself.
Purposely no, because I don't want it to be anyone we know. I want it to be an unknown. I don't want it to be
that's always the goal right there. Yeah.
Because
that was
again,
ultimately Hugh Jackman for us at the time when he was cast as X-Men. At least us in the States didn't know who the heck that was. So yeah,
that's true.
No, we didn't. You're right. We didn't. Definitely didn't.
Exactly.
He
and
definitely played a good Wolverine.
He made the character. I mean, he made it his
Yeah,
own. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and I don't think anyone's going to be able to compete with that with audiences. So don't try. Don't make it a guy like that. Let's give us.
Well, then again, Reno, remember when we got Batman? Everybody thought Michael Keaton was like the worst. We were like, huh? Michael Keaton? What?
Yeah, what?
Batman?
That comedian guy, Mr. Mom?
And then we got,
and he killed
it. Yeah.
The best Batman to this day, in my opinion.
That's all I care for. Yeah. So then we got what? Val Kilmer. Everybody's like, Val Kilmer.
See, I wasn't happy with that.
That worked a little bit. But it wasn't that great. George Clooney, we're not even going to talk about. But the other one that we got a lot of talk about, and people were kind of like, huh? What? Like Michael Keaton, was Ben Affleck. But Ben Affleck played a good Batman.
Played a good Bruce Wayne.
See, that's my thing. That's my thing with the Batman movies. That's my thing. Same thing with James Bond. You got to play both sides. You feel what I'm saying? Like, he's got to be Batman and he's got to be Bruce Wayne. He's got to be, you know what I'm saying, 007, and he's got to be James Bond. There's a playboy millionaire, and then there's a vigilante. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't be looking, like.
James Bond's a little different because you're right. And James Bond's different for one reason. Because when you read the books, see, I've read a lot of the James Bond books. And the movies that we saw with Roger Moore, Pierce Brosnan, all them, they're nothing like the books. But the last movies that we got are almost dead on with the books.
Daniel Craig.
James Bond. Yeah, Daniel Craig's James Bond is more of an exact interpretation of James Bond. If you've never read the books, he gets captured a lot. He gets tortured. He's not that, always debonair guy
Roger
getting
Moore.
out of trouble. Yeah, like how Roger Moore, you shoot a missile at Roger Moore, and he said, "Oh, a penny," and bend down, and a missile. No, that's not how he is in the books. In the books, he has a lot of conflict, and James, because he did so, the killing that he did. That's how you get the 007, montage. It really messed with his brain. To kill. It just did something to him that he never came back from. And Daniel Craig's character just kept going deeper down that rabbit hole with killing and not killing it. And it became more of a thing where it was like, if you ever watch Quentin Tarantino movies, it was just like second nature to him almost, where he was just like senseless to it after a while. And that's what I liked about Daniel Craig. He played that James Bond, that 007, because there's a difference between, like you said, James Bond and 007, and he merged the two more like the books, and I like that. I thought that was really dope.
Yeah.
If you guys don't mind, I'd like to just say peace. I got to get ready to go. I got the kids downstairs. It's bedtime. They got to get up early in the morning for school. So I wanted to say thank you for the opportunity to be here, and I'd be happy to be a part of whatever you guys are doing, man. If you're talking about hip hop, you're talking about me. And now with this new series that I have, man, like I said, my goal is to make it the next biggest thing since Dragon Ball Z. And this is through these interviews, it really helps get that kind of exposure. So thank you. Thank you.
Hey, yo, I'm going to be watching this. Hey, yo, if that ring goes off, I'm going to be like, ah, like, yo, that's going to make my day.
Do that.
That's going to make my day.
Nah, we thank you very much for coming and giving us your time.
Not a problem. I'm
following
thank
you for your
guys.
Time, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm following all y'all, so stay tuned. I'm gonna be following up.
Come back, man. Listen, come back and visit with us, or just kick it with us, man.
Will do. All right.
Yep. Anytime, welcome anytime. All right, I'll see you on the gram.
All right.
Peace.
All right. Peace.
So, man, that's an amazing concept, man. I like that. I like the whole idea, man, behind the whole anime concept. I like the whole idea behind the the what do you call it? The
web comment.
No, the reasoning behind why he's doing it and all of that. Yeah, I can't think of the word, but well, yeah, man, it's gonna be dope. I can't wait to see where it goes.
Yeah. His whole motivation. His whole motivation behind that.
Full support. Full support.
Definitely.
He's 100% correct when he said it's easier to, to raise the child. Yeah.
So Kevin Feige has held the position of Marvel president for a lot of years now, and he's apparently talking about pulling the plug. Like he's like ready to pull the whole thing. He one of the things that I think has set the franchise apart from a lot of the other franchises is the early run, the beginning. The way that it the first projects and all of that that MCU connected and built, the Iron Man and all of that build toward the larger story and the connected universe and all of that. It was something that we hadn't seen before, and they fucking killed it. And at least they did across what has now become known as the Infinity Saga, and that just was like a masterpiece. Since then, it's been ass. It's really there has not been much to fucking speak of, and he knows it, and they know it. Across the early chapters of the MCU, it was very clear what each movie was building toward, what the characters were doing, what the stories were about. The early films sort of paved the way for the Avengers, to assemble, and we got the Avengers, and then it's like, what next? You know what I mean? And from there, the universe began to expand, and Thanos emerged, and at first he was just an end credits guy, and then eventually he came into the spotlight and became the biggest bad that we've seen in film. And then after Thanos is defeated, that's when shit gets kind of whack, and there's not much that they don't know what to do. And there's no longer a clear picture of what each movie is or show is building towards, or how, or if at all it's connected. Basically, the MCU has lost its direction after the Infinity Saga. And that's just my opinion. A lot of people think that a reboot is what is needed. DC is doing it. And I think everyone's like, the MCU. No, we can't.
But Reno, I said it a couple months ago. Reno, they should just reboot the whole thing. We did that chapter. That story. It's done. It's time to move on to something else. Reboot the whole thing. New cast, new people, new characters if you want. But move on. It's time to move on. We can't keep peeling the same onion back and back. It makes no sense. Robert Downey Jr. is not coming back as Iron Man. He said that. So it's time to cast him.
The Avengers are done.
All the other actors are getting a little long in the tooth. It's time to get new ones. Right. Black Panther died. It's time to get a new one. It's just time.
So what is your opinion on that with the MCU reboot? What is your opinion on the MCU reboot going on with the new Avengers that's coming out, the Kang Dynasty? Because that's still going. And I could say
but
it could if they did it right.
Well, like, okay, so I mean, the Kang dynasty, first of all, Kang is not Thanos. He will never be Thanos. He's not gonna be as no one cares. Like it's not now if they had made Doctor Doom the big bad and gave us a real phase with Doctor Doom or something like that, it could have compared, it could have been great, but they didn't. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. With the from the Eternals to just everything they've done since Thanos has just not made sense, not gone anywhere. And Thanos, Kang, it's not even one guy. Every movie so far, it's been a different Kang. It's a different guy. It's not like one big bad. It's all these different multiple Kangs and stuff like that. And alone, they're not very powerful. So it's not quite the same.
So you don't see it happening? You don't see nothing to save it.
I just don't see it going. I know it's not going to be. It's not going to be what they need it to be, and that's another Infinity Saga. It's not gonna hit like that. They need to just cut their losses at this point.
It's not gonna be that. That was what it was. Yeah, that was what it. Right. Like perfect example. We talk about Star Wars all the time. Look at Star Wars. The first 3 movies got New Hope, Empire, Return. Great. Then they came out with these new movies that kind of mirrored the other movies. Make something new. Do something different. Give us new characters if you have to. We'll accept it as long as it's good. And that's what Reno's saying. Like, we can get a new MCU. We can get a whole new slew of characters, whole new slew of cast, all that. Just make it good. Give us a good storyline. Give us a good big bad like they did with Thanos.
But
like, you can meet Dr.
There's
Doom,
enough.
the next Thanos, but he just ain't Thanos.
With that, do you have to reboot it though?
There's so many Marvel
characters. I don't think you have to reboot.
You would have to reboot it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Unless you went with the younger characters, like champions and like the new champions stuff. If you went with the younger folks, you might stand a chance.
All right, so I don't mean reboot as far like they don't have to erase the canon. I don't mean reboot as far as that. I just mean whatever they're working on now, just stop. Like start again. Let's start a new phase.
Throw that shit out. Not doing that.
Crash what you're working on. Scrap it. It's not going anywhere. It
like
really can't.
Like, right.
Because if they keep pumping millions and hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah, it's wasting money at this point, isn't it?
Yeah, like
it's wasting money and resources at this point.
And DC, what DC realize,
they should take whatever they already did. Yeah, I think they should take whatever they already did, put it on the shelf, put some new covers, sell that in the stores, and then say, okay, here's the MCU again. We got a new storyline, like Reno said, new phases, new actors, new this, that, and you can bring back Iron Man. You can bring back Black Panther. You can bring back everybody that's getting long in the tooth or died. Black Widow. You can bring Black Widow, but you can do all of that again, but with a new storyline and just something different. It doesn't have to be these same actors that we saw last 10 years. Like
at that point, though, you might as well do.
That's another way to reboot it.
Wait, say that again, Brandon.
You could do it.
I said at that point, you might as well split it like Marvel split it in the early 2000s, where you have current MCU and then you essentially have Ultimates MCU.
Yes.
But if you're going to do that, you need to keep both. I don't think you can really get rid of current MCU and not entirely saying getting rid of current MCU, but like essentially rebooting it. I think you can do both.
You mean keep both, like both universes, have 2 universes going?
I mean, that's what they did with Marvel Comics in the 2000s, and that was one of the biggest periods for Marvel in the past 30 years.
Yeah, but
could they sustain that with movies though?
Comic book characters don't age, right? See, comic book characters don't age like real people do. So you gotta, at some point, you gotta get new actors in there, and things don't happen like people die. Like with like when we lost Chad Boseman, that was a hurt piece to the Marvel universe because that movie was so good. And then the second movie, I actually got a chance to see the script of the original movie that they wrote before he died, and it was way better. Not saying Black Panther wasn't good, but it was way better.
Wasn't that kind of rough?
It made more sense. Like it made.
I think the second movie was not good.
It was rough.
The second movie,
they slapped that together. For sure, they slapped that together.
The Namor shit was cool. Like I dig Namor.
Yeah, I like how they animated.
Namor was in the original. He was in the original script. Namor was in the original.
Yeah, he would have been in it.
But the way they wrote it, the way they wrote it with Namor in it, it made more sense.
But I don't know if you're aware.
You know the original beach
2021.
scene.
Oh no, man, go ahead. My bad. I'm interrupting.
You know the original beach scene, right? Like here's one example. You know the beach scene at the end, or you know how like the girl was living in Haiti with his son. One of the reasons why they lived in Haiti was
at the end
because
of Black Panther 2.
Okay.
At the end of Black Panther, remember how they were living in Haiti and the girl was already in Haiti and the mother went to Haiti to go find her. But the reason why they were there was because T'Challa he made a mistake by telling the world about vibranium. And he went to see the forefathers and his dad told him now, because the scene where they have Namor attack Wakanda, he went to see the dad after that and with the ancestors. And the dad told him, this is why I didn't tell the world, because now everybody is after us for it, and we're facing enemies from all sides. So now you got Namor, who's on some other way different stuff attacking Wakanda because of that, and then you got the human race trying to attack us or sneaking and steal vibranium, because he said the less they knew, the safer we were. You put your whole family and Wakanda at risk by telling the world, and you never ever thought about that before. You just use your own selfish whim to just say, well, let's just tell them and we good. That's why he moved his family to Wakanda. I mean, not to Haiti, and left them there because he wanted to hide them because they almost died when Namor attacked. And that's what the mother still died, but he didn't want his son or his wife to die or have anything happen to him, and he wanted to keep him out of danger. That's why he took him out of Wakanda. That was a doper concept to me than it was the way they put it. Yeah, than the way they put it when they rewrote it.
I thought so too. Yeah, I mean, but the according to a lot of the insiders, including the frequent Marvel scooper, can we get some toast? Kevin Feige is looking to use the upcoming Avengers movies to bring the MCU as we know it to a close in what should be an epic conclusion. The running rumor is that Feige is planning on approaching Avengers Secret Wars as a send-off to the MCU, as well as all of the Marvel movies that came before Iron Man. Like the Hulks and or the Blade and all of that. And he says that the plan is to pull off. Bloodshed. I think that's your mic. Can you just mute? And if you want to talk, just unmute. Yeah, yep, that was it. Yeah, it's a lot of feedback. I don't know what it is. It's all good. It's just probably you got a fan on or something. Interestingly, the Avengers Secret Wars is currently the last Marvel Studios movie with a confirmed release date, which could suggest that these rumors are true, in that Marvel might be looking to do a soft reboot. Again, it's not, I don't mean like, just erasing the previous canon or anything, but a soft reboot. Using the movie to bring an end to the MCU as we know it, and would allow Marvel to like close out what has been a dope chapter, and and honor the legacy of the MCU fans that because it's like Game of Thrones, man. It's like it was so good, it was the best thing in the world, and then they didn't stick the landing. And it just leaves a sour taste, and it's just not as fucking good as if it would have fucking just ended right. And they could do that. So they could the same thing could happen, and I don't want to see the MCU fizzle like that. It's been the most amazing thing that's ever happened to Hollywood, hands down. I don't give a fuck. Every actor in the world wanted to be in these movies. Like, that's crazy. Like, people forget how crazy the MCU hype was. You know what I mean? 5 years ago or whatever.
It was. It really was. We was going crazy over it. Yeah, you're right. Now, I don't know, man. Disney. I don't know. Disney plays a lot of politics now. And,
there's
having having Brandon and Bloodshed on here. Do you guys think that Disney plays a lot of politics now when they make their films?
Somewhat, but like, at least with how I see the MCU, I don't think it's a total loss right now. Yes, I'll completely agree that like after the whole Infinity Saga, they were kind of lost like directionless, like you had mentioned, Reno. They were kind of directionless. I almost saw it as like like what they did at the very beginning. Yes, at the very beginning of MCU, they had a direction of we're going to have Avengers, and then that turned into the whole Thanos thing. But how I saw the end of the Infinity Saga, you essentially had all these characters appearing, these new characters that will then form into what will be like the big culmination at the end, whether it's Kang or whatever they decide to do, because of how Quantumania did, they might change that up a little bit. But movie quality wise, I'd say it's 50-50 right now. And I think the reason it's a lot of people are jumping ship or just tired of it is because there was so much, specifically whenever Disney Plus came out, because at that time you had all these shows coming out, and then you had 3-4 movies coming out a year, to where at that time there wasn't a week where there wasn't a Marvel thing happening, whether it was TV show or movie. There wasn't a week where a Marvel thing wasn't happening. Whereas now, at least within the past year, I think they realize that they're cutting back a little bit, because they realize like people are burning out, as well as in terms of them making stuff, they're making lower quality. And this isn't anything against the screenwriters or the VFX people. It's ultimately the Disney corporates. They're pushing them into rushing this stuff to where it doesn't look or is as good as it could be, because they were rushing it. Whereas now, whether they do this or not, it seems like they're cutting back a little bit, giving them a little bit more time. Because currently it has been 50-50, but I'd say there has been some good stuff. Guardians 3, yes, James Gunn is gone from Marvel, but Guardians 3 was really good. I personally really like Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi I thought was pretty good.
It was good. It was good.
No Way Home
Shang-Chi was good.
Pretty good.
It didn't link really well with everything, but it was good. It was a good movie by itself. And I think Guardians is the best stuff that out of the MCU personally, but
it's one of those things. It's just 50-50. I think they can course correct, but I'm not saying they will, but it's possible.
It is. No, it is. And that's, I think, more probably what they're gonna do versus like a DC style reboot. I don't think they're gonna go that far. They don't have to. They don't. It's not a lost cause like DC was. And in fact, there are 12 movies that have been that are slated sort of for upcoming Marvel movies that I think are dope. Most of these are really dope that I'm excited for, but they're not announced yet officially. So nobody's heard these yet officially. Number one on the list, like I said, there's a dozen of these, but number one on the list, and it's not in any particular order. But I'm gonna save the best one for last. Nova. So the MCU's Nova tease was, relatively minor. He's one of the higher profile heroes that has not yet joined the franchise, which I think makes it all the more noticeable. The Nova Corps was obviously featured in Phase 2, the Guardians movies, confirming that key, element of Nova's story exists in the MCU universe and Marvel Cinematic Universe through the setup that happened way back in the MCU's movie timeline. You had there's been no official announcement of Nova's MCU debut, even after the franchise has definitely seen an increasing number of cosmic type heroes and villains and just that cosmic shit. So I think it's inevitable. Number 11 is Captain Britain, an easily missed moment. And the MCU actually set up the hero Captain Britain, although the character is yet to make any official appearance during the time heist in Avengers Endgame, the time when they did the time travel thing. Peggy Carter, you can hear her talking about Agent Braddock. That's given the scene's 1970s setting. I think it's like a reference to the original Captain Britain, Brian Braddock. Or his father, senior, or Sir James Braddock, rather. But like I said, there's no announced plans. But Captain Britain is definitely somebody I can see them doing sooner than later. Spider-Man, Miles Morales, no brainer. Spider-Man's first solo appearance in the MCU. We had him interacting with the criminal named Aaron Davis, who is briefly mentioned, his nephew Miles Morales, by Donald Glover, played by Donald Glover, who is the Prowler, and he's also been in the Miles animated movie, the Prowler at the end. But yeah, Spider-Man Across Spider-Verse confirmed as an MCU appearance. Prowler's tease, I think, is still something that sets up an introduction of Miles into the MCU. As a replacement of Tom Holland's Spider-Man, because there is still a long way before that is comes to fruition. Miles Morales' debut remains unannounced, of course, but was definitely set up in 2016. Black Panther 3 is the 9th on my list, because the ending of Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, we saw Shuri assume the mantle of Black Panther and introduce T'Challa's son, to Saint. And both of these major plot points clearly set up, obviously, another movie, more Black Panther stories in the MCU, at least. So with either Shuri or Toussaint acting as Wakanda's Black Panther, and then there is Doctor Strange 3. That's number 8 on the list. You had Doctor Strange,
too, and that's official. That's official.
Yeah, absolutely. Because after Strange was forced to use the dark power of the Darkhold, he was able to stop the Scarlet Witch from destroying the multiverse, and in doing that, he appeared to have corrupted himself. And as the Multiverse of Madness mid-credits scene revealed, that that he unwittingly developed that third eye. And so between this and that tease with Strange's future and the introduction of Clea, I think we can rest assured that Doctor Strange's MCU tenure is far from over. But like I said, it's not yet announced. But Spider-Man 4, we have Spider-Man initial MCU trilogy, saw Spider-Man learning to be a hero, ending with his noble and tragic sacrifice in order to preserve the multiverse. Having had the world forget Peter Parker, the MCU's Spider-Man is now able to embrace the character's traditional friendly neighborhood role, complete with a suit free of Stark tech. Despite the clear setup for future Spider-Man movies in the MCU and a great deal of speculation about Spider-Man 4, they've not yet announced this either. World War Hulk. We just hope and pray.
That's the thing. No, that's the thing, Reno. That's
no. I'm saying I know that. I'm saying we hope and pray that when it comes, they own the rights in full, and also they can stop doing this Smart Hulk bullshit and give us a goddamn monster. Okay.
I read an article. I read an article early in the year, and it said that Universal is Disney presented them a deal which helped them work better with you, because Universal has to approve all that. They have to approve the script, the movie, everything, and they worked out some new deal with they redid Hulk's deal. So now they're saying that we're gonna get, when we do World War Hulk, it's gonna be Hulk. It's not gonna be, like you said, Smart Hulk and all that. It's gonna actually be a Hulk, like another. It's because I think they said that the deal that Universal made was they wanted to be they want another Hulk movie, and I think that's what Disney did. It was like, well, we'll give you that, but you got to give us something in return. So he can't be Smart Hulk; he has to be Universal's Hulk in the Hulk movie. That's what went down.
And I think there's a lot of Hulk stories, obviously, but I think World War Hulk being the most obvious because they've already introduced Sakaar in Thor Ragnarok and She-Hulk, and that sort of hints that the MCU is going to adapt that storyline, World War Hulk. And the majority of the characters crucial to the story have already been featured in the MCU. They're all there. So, and there's been a few teases, but again, no official shit. But Thor 5 is number 5 on the list. Thor: Love and Thunder was utter shit. There was nothing redeemable about it. I can't even say that I fully have seen the movie. Like I couldn't get 30 minutes. I was just so mad because Christian Bale was doing like this great performance. Like I was like, oh, this is gonna be dope. And then this goofy ass dude comes on and he's acting all a clown, and it just didn't match the what he was doing, and the rest of the movie did not match. Christian Bale just didn't match the movie, and it sucks because I want to see that movie that he was doing. Whatever Christian Bale was doing, where's that movie? Because this bullshit that Taika Waititi gave us, I'm sorry, there's nothing. It was just stupid joke after stupid joke. There was no good story. We didn't get like I was the reason I really wanted this movie. Like I've been waiting for Love and Thunder. I thought it was gonna be Beta Ray Bill, and you know what I mean. Like I had all this preconceived shit that I knew was gonna be coming because I'm going by what the MCU has been and what the comics are. I'm not thinking they're doing this goofy shit. I have no idea. So when it came out, it just shocked us, man. But Love and Thunder's credit scene, we had Hercules swearing revenge on Thor for his transgressions against Zeus, and clearly setting up a story for Thor 5. Where Hercules will be in there and Thor, and I honestly like. This is one of the things I hope they soft reboot. I hope they just whatever that movie was doing, just forget it. Let's and Hercules, yeah, let's have Hercules in the MCU. That's cool, but nothing to do with Love and Thunder. Hopefully, but definitely need another Thor movie because Thor needs another go. I feel bad for Chris Hemsworth. He was pissed. Did you see the interviews that he did after that?
Yeah.
But
He
quit.
he has
He
to take a
quit.
break
He
from
said he's not
acting.
doing it anymore. He quit.
Yeah. He's like, I'm not.
Plus,
I
he had
won't.
to take Plus, he has they found that he has the gene for I think it's like Alzheimer's or something like that.
Yeah,
So he
early
said he has to
onset.
Early
Alzheimer's.
onset. Yeah.
Yeah, so he said he's
It's fucked
taking a
up.
break from acting, period, just to
Yeah.
do whatever he wants because he doesn't want to,
Yeah.
waste any time. He doesn't know if it, if it
That's
onset
real.
on him or when.
That's
So
crazy, bro. I mean, you saw what happened to
yeah,
Bruce Willis. That's crazy. Bruce Willis is like, he was, bro. That shit fucked me up, bro. Because Bruce was like that dude to me, bro. I thought he was the coolest white dude on the planet, in my opinion. Like that was like, he was just like
they
that dude. But
Schwarzenegger, I think it was either Schwarzenegger or Stallone said they went to see him and he didn't
yeah,
recognize him. Like they said,
It still blows my mind that nobody knew Chadwick was sick like that. As long as he was. He did James Brown. He did
nobody
all those
knew.
movies sick as a
yeah,
dog,
he did
and
Jackie
nobody
Robinson.
knew.
Yeah, he did Jackie Robinson.
Dying
Yeah,
of
He was in
cancer.
pain. Yeah.
yeah.
Word.
He kept that hit. He kept that hitting real
Word.
well.
I mean,
Yeah.
whatever. That's his personal. That's what he wanted to do.
But we gotta remember
I
too,
get
these
it.
guys, though they do act and they
I
do
get it because he didn't want that to hurt his
they
role. He didn't want to make Black Panther look weak. He didn't want to make Black Panther look weak. He didn't want to say, "Oh, he's sick," and he didn't want that. So he's like, you know what? I'm not even gonna let nobody know. And he let them,
It's also personal too, It's also,
Yeah.
it's
also
his
He's
private.
strong.
Like,
It's private.
He's very,
It's choice.
very, very strong man. Very strong.
yeah,
To be that sick and nobody knew except the people that was close to you, like for real.
Right.
He was doing
Right.
all that stuff, man. Heart goes out to Chadwick, man.
Yeah.
He
and
was
was getting
solid. He was
treatments while
solid.
he was doing the movie. He was
He
getting
was
treatments while he
solid.
was doing the movie. That was
Word.
that blew me away.
Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta understand that's their personal lives too, and we can't know
Yeah.
everything. I know that's the culture in that. We want to know every little move they make, what kind of cereal they eat, what kind of milk they had in them. But some stuff is just private. Like let them have a little bit, let them have whatever privacy they can have.
Yeah, bro, for real. Yeah, for real. But number 4 on the list, Eternals 2. So this is one of those
You can
movies
skip over
that,
that. You can just
yeah,
skip over
I
that.
That's
felt,
the one I don't care about
Just
at
go
all.
I
on.
don't,
Right. Let's just go to number 3.
it's one of the movies that,
The next.
3 was next.
Next.
Next
Next
word.
on the
we need
list.
to talk about it.
There's nothing redeemable about the first one. Again, this is another one of those that I did not finish. I didn't complete watching it. I think when the bus turned into a bunch of roses, I was like, oh, I'm done. I didn't get it. I
got it.
did. I know I
got
did
it.
want to see. No, I did want to. Well, I wanted to see Dane Whitman. I wanted to see Black Knight. Like I want to still see Black Knight, and I want to see Jon Snow play Black Knight. That's cool. Like that's cool. We need a Black Knight movie or something like, or have him with Captain Britain, something like that.
That would be dope.
You know what I mean? Do a whatever,
That would be dope.
yeah, other world, with them and have like
Or
a
just give
a
us a
fantasy thing.
Disney Plus. That'd be a good Disney Plus show. Because Disney claims the reason why they came out with Disney Plus was to give us that content that they don't really want to bring to the theaters, but they know they
Yeah,
can
Bullshit.
like
do
the
real well to
smaller
bring it
characters,
home.
kind of.
Right,
Yeah.
the small,
Bullshit.
right. So yeah,
They
so
lied.
give us that. Like
They
yeah, like
lied.
Reno's right. Like yeah, give us Black Panther, give us Black Knight and Captain Britain.
That
Bruh,
would be
that's a
dope.
dope. Yeah, that'd be a dope 12 episode series. You know what I mean? Like that'd be dope. But
Yeah.
you know, we'll never see it. Um Eternals too. Eternals was just too political. Like I said earlier, when it came to this, it's too political.
I
They wanted to
mean,
represent everybody.
that's fine.
I mean,
But
and it's not,
Eternals
but
ended with a bunch
not that
of
I'm ragging on,
teasers.
not that I'm ragging on it, Reno, but it's just that sometimes you gotta leave well enough alone. When Disney was neutral, they were great, and they didn't get involved in this and that and that. They were great, and we enjoyed all that. When you go back and watch all those older movies, it was just great. They supported the five family values. That's what
No,
makes
no, 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 no. Like I don't
that's what
care.
makes
No,
it
no,
great.
no, no. Yeah, but no, but having a character that represents LGBTQ is not a problem. Not a problem. The
It's not
problem
a
is the
problem, but
shitty
when you got
writing.
kids,
The shitty
right?
writing. I
That
don't
The
care. No, no, no,
pacing's
no.
really bad in Eternals.
the pacing's bad, and then
Yes,
sometimes kids don't need to
the
see certain
pacing is
stuff,
bad.
or you don't need to, and you don't need to show certain stuff that's to the kids. Like I
I
get that
disagree with
part.
Homeboy when they were talking about everything's rushed. When Disney bought it, it was now, 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 now. They can't take
Yeah,
their time to
Yes,
do anything.
yes,
They
to do
got to keep
that.
pumping it out, and it's like you
right.
said, it's getting shittier and shittier and shittier.
That's
And
the problem.
And Disney was always known for taking their time with making movies. They always took their time, made a movie. You know, oh, it'll be
Mm.
out this year. Oh, wait, we had to hold up next year. As long as we got a better product, we didn't care how long it took.
it's COVID. It was COVID. Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
think about it. Endgame was right before
That
COVID,
fucked
right?
everything up. Yeah, look what
Yeah,
happened. I
it was
mean,
COVID.
and
That's what it
that
was.
fucked a lot of shit up. But
It
yeah, I
did.
mean,
It,
you had
it did.
a lot that from the whole Eternals shit, led to a lot of different unresolved MCU plot threads. There was, and the celestial part was cool. Like, I do want to see more cosmic stuff. Don't get me wrong. I want to see more cosmic stuff, more cosmic Marvel, like, the gods, eternity, and the living tribunal, and like let's really go into Marvel. Like, that's what I want to see happen. So Eternals was like that's what it should have been, and that's where it fell short. But that's what that should have been. That's what maybe a sequel or a reboot or a redo or a retry could do. I don't know. Let's see. But number
Silver
3 on the list,
Surfer.
Venom's debut. I know, Galactus and all of that. We got to see Galactus and Doom and Silver Surfer. But we'll see. But number 3 on the list, we got Venom. Venom's MCU debut. From the films inside and outside, Sony, MCU. There's been teasing that Venom will make his way into the franchise. Spider-Man No Way Home, the credits scene, we had the little Venom symbiote left on the bar in the MCU, and then Venom Let There Be Carnage seemingly confirmed that Venom somehow knew Spider-Man. I don't know how. And then through Venom is one of Spider-Man's most iconic foes in the comics. It I hope that they somehow make them meet or have something to do with each other, but
They would fuck that up. Don't wish for that. They would fuck that up. I guarantee you.
listen, it's something that I never understood what Sony's doing with the Morbius and the little villain movies that are not connected to Spider-Man. I don't get it. Who cares about these
Because
characters if
Sony,
they're not Spider-Man villains? Venom's the
because
only
Sony
one.
got the
They're the
right.
Sinister
You know what it
Six.
is? When they got the
Yeah,
right, when they got the
exactly.
rights to
Where's the
Spider
Sinister
Man,
Six? They
I
tried to
don't
do
know,
that
man.
shit
yeah,
3
I hear
times.
you.
They
yeah.
keep failing.
The problem was when
They can't get it
Sony got
together.
the rights to Spider Man, they got the rights to their villains. He got the right to his villains as well.
Yeah,
So I guess
exactly.
Sony's looking at it like when people talk about Batman. I watched an interview with Christian Bale said that when you watch a Batman movie, the villains always outshine the hero, acting wise in the movie. So I think that's where Sony's trying to go, with get these great actors to play these villains and put them on screen and paint that picture of the anti-hero villain, and we can see it from the villain's point of view. And like I said, not waste the franchise, because along with Spider-Man, they got his villains, and that's all they've ever done. But I'm with you, Reno. How can you do Morbius, Venom, Craven, or any without Spider-Man?
Or you can just take the characters that are already anti-heroes and give them movies.
I mean,
you could do that.
Yeah, not have all the villains become anti-heroes. Yeah.
Right.
Do you feel what I'm saying? Because they do have villains for hire and shit like that. So it is possible. It is possible. It's not possible, you know.
Right, but what we don't want them to do is turn all the villains into anti-heroes, because then now they can't be the Sinister Six. Now they can't be Spider-Man's villains. Now they're not bad guys.
Okay, all right.
I don't want that.
Spider-Man got no villains to fight. Yeah.
You're right.
Like I said,
everybody's got a need.
It comes with the territory. Sony's just doing something with the franchise. They got it. They're using it. I give them credit.
It bothers me because, like, I think Craven is gonna be a dope character. Like, I think he looks cool. I think the actor that they picked ended up looking fine doing it. I think it'll be all right. I think that's gonna be okay. It's just, and I think it's a waste because it's such a dope character, man, and it could have been so cool. And I just hope it doesn't go the way of Morbius and end up like another fucking Morbius, because that would just be such a sad waste of such a dope character. Shout out to Raw Talk, Raw Deal. What's good, my man?
What's going on, everyone?
House. What up? What up?
Yeah, I was in transit, so I was hearing the whole thing. This is a dope show, dope guests. I'm like, yo, this is pretty fresh, man. So I decided just to stay in the chat for a little bit. You know,
we appreciate
you. As far as the, let me turn this camera on. Stop incognito for a minute. Yeah. So the anti-heroes y'all was talking about. I mean, I think what they're doing is just their origin stories, and each anti-hero got a problem with Spider-Man because he's outshined them. It's like, okay, we're anti-hero and we save people, but everybody's ignoring us because Spider-Man takes the spotlight. So we hating on Spider-Man now, and we going after him.
Damn.
You know what I mean? I kind of feel it, something like that.
Pretty much. And it don't help that he cracks jokes the entire time he's whooping their ass. That does not help the situation.
He says, I read a comic one time where they asked him that. He says it's just a distraction because if he can get them to not focus on killing him, so
throw him off. Yeah. Never see the trouble. I'm not mad at that.
Yeah, I can see that. Spider-Man, they can't stand that Joker. They can't
stand that nigga.
But it's a distraction, as well as like Peter Parker, whenever he puts on the Spider-Man outfit, like he has more confidence compared to Peter Parker himself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yep. Exactly. And that's the whole thing behind the black suit and all of that becoming more aggressive. And you know, that's another problem with the whole thing that Sony's doing. Like, I really want to see a black suit saga done right. And you know what I'm saying? They've already gone out of order with Venom, and it's like, how, you know, what can we do? Black Heroes Club, what's good?
I want to chime in on that. What some people may not realize is that back before Iron Man became popular, before MCU became popular, Marvel was selling out a lot of their characters to different corporations because they needed to make the money. So the reason why we get a Venom and not like the black suit Spider-Man is because when Marvel sold the rights to Venom, Sony jumped on that. And now they're trying to jump into this hero craze. My thing, this is just my own personal opinion, they're not making as much money as we think they're making off of superheroes. That's why they're not able to get the money or the budget to create superhero movies. You know, like Iron Man, like they weren't expecting Iron Man to be as big as it was. They were just hoping it didn't flop. You know, they weren't expecting, you know, the Avengers Endgame to do so well. They were just, Endgame they were expecting to do well, but they weren't expecting Thor to do well or Captain America to do well. They were hoping it wouldn't flop, and that's what they were praying for.
I call cap. They tested the waters with Blade. Blade killed it.
Yes, it was.
I'm sorry. I call cap. They knew that Iron Man was going to kick that shit off. Did they know it was going to be as big as it was? They never know when a movie is going to be as big as it is. But they knew. They knew.
Stan Lee said that. Yes, Stan Lee's on record saying that if Blade flopped, we would have never got the MCU ever.
Okay, but I got a question for you guys. Who produced Blade? If you guys think back to it, it wasn't MCU. Before MCU and Marvel would, like, if you watch Blade, if you go back and watch the original Blade, it doesn't say Marvel on it. It says Sony Pictures, or does it? It says like a different production company. It doesn't say Marvel. So
New Line, it's New Line Cinema.
Exactly. Yeah, so a lot of people are like, "Oh, it's a Marvel movie," but New Line Cinema actually put up the money to make Blade. So
bro, no, nobody thinks that it's part of the MCU or that Kevin Feige had anything to do with it, or that it's one of the Marvel movies. It's before Fox and all of that took the X-Men and all of that. No one thinks that it's that.
Straight testing the water. Straight just testing the water. That's all it was.
It's a Marvel Comics character, and they made a movie. It wasn't like, oh, let's make a Marvel movie about superheroes. It's like, oh, here's a character, we can make this into a movie. And then it was good. It wasn't like, let's make a comic book movie. It was like, what can we make a movie about? Here's this guy. He's a black vampire killer. Vampires are hot right now. Let's do this movie. And it happened.
They wanted to do it. Yeah.
Vampires were hot at the time.
Yeah, Stan Lee said they wanted to do Spider-Man, but they didn't know how it was going to go off. And he said if Blade flopped, there would have been no Spider-Man. There would have been none of that. Because then you had Marvel Enterprises back then.
And Blade went
they teamed up with new. Right.
That's true.
Blade had a budget of 43. Blade had a budget of $43 million. It made his money plus some. So they figured. And Blade is not a well-known character. He's not a well-known.
No.
You got to be a hardcore. You got to be
Most
somebody
people had no idea
sitting on this podcast that know who Blade was. Yes, because everybody else didn't know who Blade was. They didn't know he was a Marvel character.
And Black Heroes Club is right. It did not say Marvel, and it didn't advertise that this is a Marvel character, and nobody knew it was a Marvel character. Yeah, exactly.
I feel what you guys are saying.
It came later.
The first time I saw Blade
in Hollywood, the movie
was on the show Spider-Man. It was on the cartoon show Spider-Man. Right. That's how I knew he rode the motorcycle and all that, had the sword and all that shit. It was back in the day, in the 90s. He was on Spider-Man. That's how I knew who Blade was. Yeah. So I didn't know. I mean, yeah, that's how I.
But not the fan.
I didn't know who Blade. No, I thought, damn.
I mean, Black Heroes. I'm not talking about fans. I'm not talking about people that know these movies. I'm talking about what Hollywood knew behind the scenes. Hollywood behind the scenes was like, oh shit, why did that movie do so good? And they always try to figure it out. What's the formula? What about that movie made it pop? And why? And so they tried to, and one thing about that movie, it's a comic book movie. Okay, it's a Marvel movie. So then they're like, maybe that's what was good about it. Let's try another one. But it was, if it would have flopped and it wouldn't have been good, they wouldn't have tried another comic book movie. That's what we're saying. That it gave them the foundation to let them know that a comic movie can work.
I feel what you guys are saying, but let's go back in the time and remember, because they had Meteor Man, which I know you guys may not consider, but then they also
that didn't do what Blade did. That didn't do what Blade did.
Spawn was before Blade, wasn't it?
No, Spawn.
Yeah, Spawn was before Blade.
Spawn was before Blade. Spawn and Blade 1 and Spawn. That's a Google right there, but I swear they right up on each other. But how are we to know? How are we to know that Spawn with McFarlane isn't a prelude, isn't a testing the water to Blade with Marvel to testing the water on like a whole domino effect? You feel what I'm saying?
All right, Spawn came out in 98. Spawn came out in 97, and Blade came out in 98, I think. So Spawn came out first. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because Spawn did not do what Blade did.
Great.
Not do what Blade did. Not even close.
This is what y'all have to understand.
Michael Jai White. It was not even close. You're talking about Wesley Snipes. It was not even comparable, bro.
You have to understand first. Everybody have to understand first. this we're talking about Marvel, but on a whole, remember DC had movies out well before that were successful. So Marvel was,
of course,
Marvel was trying
Superman.
to replicate that success that
Right,
DC
because
had.
they had
That
no
it was
digital,
playing
right? They
catch
had
up.
no digital
But
media,
you gotta look at
and
that.
Marvel
DC
had
was
no
on
digital
TV
media at the time.
before Marvel
when
shows and so on and so forth. Like
Right.
that's
And Marvel
that's
Yeah,
you
was,
can't
DC been
you
doing
can't
it.
do that. You can't do
yeah,
that.
but
yeah,
when
Marvel,
did
Marvel
Fantastic
also
Four?
had no
DC been
digital.
doing
They
this.
also had no digital media at the time, and that was the
Exactly.
big reason for them coming out with movies and cartoons. Everything was on comic book for them, and they had nothing for TV, and
I mean,
that's why they started. But they were Marvel.
the bogus
Marvel
Fantastic
Productions had
Four.
nothing.
That's what I'm
Yep,
saying. So like
which was a
they
flop.
had movies before Blade, man, that flopped.
Yeah,
There
that
was
were
a lot.
trash.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
but
a lot
we're
though. It
talking about
wasn't
the
just
modern era ones. The modern era
Yeah,
ones.
modern era.
We're not talking about the Captain America that came before that was looking crazy.
Nothing from the 80s,
Nothing from the 80s or the early 90s.
early
right, but
90s.
then I
None
can
of
say,
that.
but then I can still say the same argument because the Hulk, you guys had. I don't like. I mean, I'm not into Marvel. The Hulk had what 2 or 3 movies that bombed. You guys have 2 or 3
Hulk just
Fantastic
had
Four
one
movies?
movie that did. Hulk had one movie that a lot of
That-
people didn't like,
Hulk
and
had
then the
one
other
bomb
movie
movie.
was
Yeah,
actually
Hulk
really
had
good.
one.
Y'all
But
had
none of
two.
them bombed though.
Yeah, he had one.
The
Yeah,
Ang
Hulk
Lee
had one movie.
bomb,
Yeah,
the
they-
Ang Lee, you could say bomb, but it didn't really bomb. It
It's
just
just like he was
didn't
saying
do
at the beginning of today's conversation, when he said that there's just a drop. Everything lately is bombing. Everything
it. Yeah,
before that, starting with Blade, well, no, that wasn't a Marvel movie, but launched all these movies that we've been talking about,
yeah.
Endgame, all these things.
Yeah,
From Blade
Like
to
this shit wouldn't
Endgame.
be a thing if it wasn't for Blade. That's Blade's
Yeah,
significance. Do you feel what I'm saying?
from
Like
Blade to Endgame.
yeah, the
Yeah,
MCU
That's
as
true.
we
I
know it
mean,
No, she's
today.
right. She's
You
100%
feel
right.
what
and
I'm
you
saying?
can no listen.
No, she's
You can
100%
argue that
right.
all you want. Black Heroes Club can argue that all you want. This is what they have said in interviews. This is what the producers have said. All this shit is from interviews that Black Bloodshed just said. I've seen that interview. Stu Dog said I've seen that interview. Everything everybody's saying has been said by the people that are making these movies.
Yeah.
So it's you can see this in all the documentaries and all of that. They all say that Blade was the one that let the studio people know, the
Yeah.
filmmakers know that
Stanley,
this
you
thing was
can
a viable thing.
you can
And
look
then
that
they
up.
started
And
thinking about shit.
I'm
It
sorry,
didn't
bro.
really.
I'm sorry. People knew who Blade was before that
Yeah,
movie.
yeah.
I'm sorry, bro.
No, not
I'm
not
sorry.
casual
Maybe
audiences
not.
did
Maybe
not
not
know who
like they
Blade
did
was.
once the movie came out, but people did know.
But
People did.
remember,
You could say that
Comic
with
book fans
all
knew.
heroes. The
There you go.
mass people that went to go see the movie did not know. 90%
No,
of people that
comic
went to
book
see the
fans
movie
Oh
knew.
no,
did not
most
know.
people, yeah, most
Yeah,
people know, but there were people that did know. There were people,
Yeah,
yeah,
comic book
yeah.
there were
fans
people
knew.
that
Yeah.
knew. You can't say
people
that
that know.
Oh
nobody
yeah.
knew who Blade was and he came out of nowhere. They just picked
Yeah,
some black
well,
guy.
the comic
Now,
That
when you
wasn't
say
it.
nobody,
You
when I
can't
say
say just pick a black
nobody,
guy.
That's true.
when they say nobody, they mean the masses. The
yeah,
masses did not know who Blade was. Comic
yeah,
fans knew who Blade was.
But
yeah,
we knew,
comic.
That's it.
like I said,
But
everybody in
comic
this
fans
chat,
for box office
everybody in
make
this on this
10%
stream
of
knew
the
who Blade
box
was.
office.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Nah, Brandon, say it again.
So comic fans themselves make no more than 10% of the box office.
Yeah.
If that.
That's
Yeah,
true.
if that.
And we talk about that all the time on this show. Yes, we talk about that all the time. Yes.
And so
But Blade
yeah,
Blade
you
did kick
talk
open the
about
door for Spider-Man. He
from
kicked open,
Blade
and that
to
kicked open the door
Endgame
for the MCU that we have now.
in a lot of ways. I
Because
mean, yeah, but a lot of people
MCU
just
is what 09. Oh, MCU is 09 to present. And
That's my number one
the
problem
first
with
Spider-Man
it.
movie came out, what,
That's
2000?
my
So
number one
that's what
problem with the MCU, and that's what I was telling Six Element. We had a conversation not so long ago. Is that it's not so much the movie. Of course, the movie's entertaining. You know, it's entertaining. The story that they're telling, that specific story of that character that they're telling, it's entertaining. It's cinematic. However, like you said, everybody don't read comic books, so people are just now being introduced to Thor, and what they know of him is Love and Thunder. Do you feel what I'm saying? So it's kind of like,
I know.
That's
Listen,
a problem.
I know why
That's
it was
a
so
problem.
successful. Listen, I know why it was so successful, and I can answer all your questions right now. I know why. It was because when Obama was president, he inspired people to write good stories, and that's why we had a good run from 08, 09 up until he got out of office. Once Obama got out of office, the MCU just went to hell.
All
They just
right.
went to hell.
Still,
People was uninspired. People were uninspired after that. They didn't want to write good stories. They didn't even want to go to work. People was like, I don't even want to go to work now. I don't even want to go to work.
If you want to say Obama inspired,
I'm messing with you.
Goblin.
He's clowning.
I think they had too much. I think that they put too much on their plate. Yeah. I feel like they put too much on their plate. Like they had a whole roster of characters and superheroes and all these projects they were working on. And I think that they spent so much money. Disney turned a blind eye, and they like the project like Eternals. They weren't expecting it to flop. And when that flopped and then the other movies flopped, then they opened their eyes and they were like, wait, we can't just give them anything. We got to work at this. Let's push pause on all of our projects and reconsider this, because they had nothing but project. Like Falcon and Winter Soldier was supposed to come out with the season 2 and 3. WandaVision was supposed to come out with the season 2. She-Hulk was supposed to be better, and they were supposed to incorporate that in the Secret Wars. Secret Wars came out.
Did you just say She-Hulk was supposed to be better?
Yeah, they were all supposed to be better.
It was supposed to be good.
And She-Hulk came out after Obama was in office, which proves.
I'll go check this out though. With She-Hulk technically stuck to the new to the comic book.
Just kidding, man.
Because that's basically how
did. See, everybody argues that when I say that, but I'm telling you, She-Hulk was mad comic accurate.
All accurate. It literally was. No, that was the most comic accurate one.
I was looking for Deadpool to jump in somewhere because there's a lot of fourth wall breaking in that She-Hulk.
That's what she does.
That's what she does.
You were instead of Daredevil. I'm like, but still, it's cool. But the thing about the Blade thing,
Daredevil wasn't Daredevil before Blade. No, Daredevil wasn't before Blade.
Nah.
Daredevil was.
But what I'm saying is, with Blade, man, I thought it was MCU was disrespectful by not letting Wesley Snipes reprise his role.
I agree.
Since he gave that movie gave the platform for everything to be what it is, just give the man that role again. Maybe
or he should have been like, or he could have been like somebody who would like trained the new Blade. Like he could be the old guy because he's a little old. I don't know if he could play.
He could have been a new Whistler. He could have played Whistler. He could play Whistler in this one.
He may be old. He's a martial artist. His body is younger than what his age is.
They age him down.
But the thing is, what they're trying to think, because it's not like the MCU. They're like, oh, we're going to do 2 more years and that's it. They need someone that can stay with it for 2 years at least.
Right.
But that's what the multiverse is for. Now you can change up things in the multiverse.
Well, that's what I mean. They could have brought him in and just played a role maybe at one time.
No, I'm sorry. It boils down to what he said earlier, man. They're getting old, man. They're getting old. If the first Blade came out in 1998, dude, it's 2023, man. These people, I mean, I understand they're young and inspired.
I do think he should. I do think he should get to be in the movie, though. I mean, I do think Wesley Snipes should be involved as somebody in the movie. And maybe as
he could be Whistler,
a multiversal character. He could be Whistler. He could be old man Blade.
Whistler, yeah.
Why do we
remember Whistler was old? Whistler was the old man in the movie. He could be old
because we love the character
in another universe.
Right. It's like saying why another Batman movie or why another Spider-Man or Superman
why not Black Goliath? Why not a Nick Fury movie? Well, he got Secret Invasion.
He got Secret Invasion. I was watching that. He
going too far down the rabbit hole now.
You guys got an arsenal. Like Marvel has an arsenal of characters that they can use. I can't like Thrasher. They don't have to be black.
But they have royalties they have to pay, and they don't want to pay. That is the main
all about money.
There's a state that artists own.
The damn thing funny.
Artists that created these characters own, percentages of the characters along with Marvel. So they don't want to share the money. So that's why
that's why they're on strike, because the writers and the artists for these things are not getting paid. I believe the creators of Superman, when it was first mass distributed, Superman brought in millions, probably billions compared to today. They got paid like $48.
Yeah, I don't think it's royalties. I don't think it's royalties at all, because back when Winter Soldier came out, Ed Brubaker made the Winter Soldier character. Yes, he didn't make Bucky, but he made the Winter Soldier character. Ed Brubaker made less than $5,000
Yeah,
royalties on
the
that.
artists the creators don't get a lot at Marvel. Marvel will
Yeah,
be
you
like,
get
okay,
hold,
you
man. You
created
get
that while you
hold
were
for your
working for
work, man.
Marvel. That's a Marvel
What I'm
character. We
saying, when
own
we're
that.
talking royalties, we're talking beyond just that movie. We're talking merchandise, costumes, toys.
A lot of those
They have to
artists and writers don't
thought
see none
Marvel
of
would
that.
have to pay all that out. You know what I mean? They would have
It
to pay
depends.
every iteration of that character from the film onto the merchandise. They
Yeah,
will
it,
have to
it
pay
depends on the
royalties.
character. It does, and that's what I think. That's why some characters make it in the MCU and some might not, or some haven't yet. Some we're waiting on. And like right now, so the second or the number 2 movie in the list of 12 of them to do that they've not yet announced is Young Avengers. And I say not announced because we already know they're doing Thunderbolts and all of that again that I think they should scrap it, but whatever. But Young Avengers may not have been the most obvious movie teased for the MCU, but they did bring us those characters. We had America Chavez, we had Wiccan, we had Speed, we had Kate Bishop, we had your boy uh what's your boy he was in Falcon and Winter Soldier,
Elijah Bradley.
Elijah Brad, thank you, Elijah Bradley. Yes, Sada, welcome, thank you. Yeah, and all of them have all been featured in Agatha Darkhold series is reportedly going to introduce Hulkling, indicating a clear path to flash out the ranks of the team.
Do you guys want that? I mean, like honestly, like I'm
No, I
listening to
don't.
this.
I don't.
Yeah,
I don't
so
want any
I
of that.
s-
That's what I'm saying.
I
All of
saw
these
it on
movies,
TV, but
it's like the only one is in the last movie in my list is MCU's X-Men, and that's the movie that I really don't want it to be a movie. I want it to be a phase. I think the mutants need a whole fucking phase because there's a lot to cover with mutants. It's not just X-Men. It's not just a team of, okay, there's a lot to cover with mutants and they need a phase. And that's what they're talking about doing. They're talking about the next phase just being the mutant phase. And that way they don't have to say the X-Men phase. They can say the mutant phase because they don't want to say men. You know how
you know
that goes.
what, bro? No, I don't want that because you guys had Runaways. Marvel Runaways didn't do well. That came out during COVID, but I don't want another
Kickstarter campaign.
I don't know. They're kind of taking too
that's
long.
the only way you're gonna get that wish.
They're kind of taking too long with X-Men. Part of that's like out of their control because of like rights issues, but at the same time, they'll do this thing where they know they don't have the rights and they'll still tease it, even though you can't really expand upon it. So it's like, what are we really doing here? Like, it's just feels like a waste.
And they're gonna skip Wolverine.
Wasting money. That's exactly what they do. They're wasting money. It's just
we
they
already
didn't
had
say
a
that they don't have
Wolverine
any.
movie. We already had a Logan movie. We already had 3 different Wolverines, bro. I want to see superheroes, but I want to see something different. I'm getting tired of the same.
I'm all X-Men out.
See now, this is somebody. This is
I know that was
no.
I'm
Listen,
done with it.
listen. You guys, that's a DC. Black Heroes Club is a DC guy. He doesn't understand. If you're a Marvel guy, you just. I can understand you not understanding. But if you're a Marvel guy, no. Let me finish. Guys, we all talking at once. Nobody can hear us. I promise. The mics cancel each other out. No one can hear. Just everybody know talking at one time. Who's next? One at a time. Black Heroes Club, go.
Our DC movies have been trashed too. I want to see a lot of better qualities in our DC movies. It's not just Marvel, but with me becoming a Marvel fan, I don't want to see repetition. I want to see something new. I know Spider-Man. I know Blade now. I know X-Men.
All right, well,
I want to see something new.
Well, that's the problem. You don't know X-Men because you saw Fox's version. You saw nothing of you don't know X-Men, and that's the problem. You know what they gave you, and it's shit. And that's why we need you to have what is the real. So you see what I'm saying? We need we haven't, it hasn't been done. It's like G.I. Joe. They haven't done it right yet. I want to see a good G.I. Joe movie before I see a Transformers crossover. Like,
That's what I was saying.
I am catching up.
Black Heroes Club here. Let me help you. Let me help you, Black Heroes Club. All right, you know DC. So remember when we got the Snyder Cut and they showed Darkseid, right? You know Darkseid, but everybody else in here, besides me and you, don't really know Darkseid like we know Darkseid. So when we saw the representation, I'm like, damn, that's lame. Like, why would they do that? Like, you know. And so for somebody that wants,
I was like, oh, he looks dope, and Stu was like, no, that's not what he looks
right?
like.
And I was
that's
like,
not
no,
how he is.
yeah, I was like, no, that's not what he looked like. It's not how he is. It just was a misrepresentation. So that's what that's what
like that Apocalypse movie.
Like
that Apocalypse movie. That's if that's what people think Apocalypse is like. That's a problem.
That's what I was saying with the MCU and how they're doing these characters in the movies. People, like you said, 10%. You gotta look at it. There's no money in these raw, edgy comic, direct comic adaptations. Do you feel what I'm saying? Because the people that are making you the money know these characters. But do you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, I didn't see this guy. I didn't see this guy in the movie.
Right.
I didn't see that guy in the movie.
All right, we did a Kickstarter campaign.
Even with the X-Men, I didn't like any of the X-Men movies because they was out of continuity. They didn't have the five.
Terrible.
They didn't have the real first class.
Right.
Beast, Marvel Girl, Iceman, Angel. You know what I mean?
Beast before he was blue.
Cyclops.
Jean Grey.
They didn't have with Professor X going against the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants.
Right.
Now, had they started that, they just jumped to the most famous character
off top. Right.
They went for Wolverine, the money shot.
Right.
And now
he doesn't even come out at first. He's not even in the first team. Wolverine comes way later.
No.
Yeah.
He's not. Yeah. He's not even part of Wolverine. Yeah. Like yeah.
Right. Man, they milked that cash cow. Now it's dry.
Still
for the whole conversation. They done, right? Look what they did.
Yeah.
They bled those wells dry. Now nobody wants to watch anymore.
Yeah.
There's a huge hunger for X-Men movies right now. People are fiending for them to do X-Men movies.
But they're taking too long.
And then they do wrong characters. Like Lupita should have been Storm out the gate for me.
And the reason, exactly. But the reason people think it's taking too long is because we start learning about these movies years and years before they're supposed to come out, and that never happened before. Hollywood didn't tell us what movies were going to be coming out for the next 10 years. We found out a couple months before a movie was going to come out. We didn't get the next lineup for a decade.
Also, something to keep in mind though is like we
still haven't even done the King phase.
When Batman Returns,
hold on, let Brandon say something.
Well, I was gonna say also another thing to keep in mind is we that like look at the nerd news and see like the upcoming stuff that's coming out. We're a huge minority. That's like 5% of the people that are going to see the movie have heard about it 3-4 years before. Most of the people that are going to go see it, they heard it whenever that trailer came out.
Yeah,
that's true.
Honestly.
That's true.
And that's part of the problem. Like they tease it in the project. So then now you have majority of your audience learning about the possibility of something that's not going to come for like 5 years, 5+ years. And it's like, all right. Like they're doing the same thing with Fantastic Four. You had that whole thing with him in Multiverse of Madness, which was, I guess, fine for the moment. But they know we've been wanting some type of casting news for forever now. And we have gotten nothing. And it's going to get to a point where it's like, I don't really care. So
yeah. I mean, I can see that. I can see some people, losing interest and all that. But I promise, if you're a diehard fan, then you are still waiting for a decent X-Men.
I'm sorry, man. I'm with her, man. It's hard to care. It's getting harder. I mean,
if you don't
to care, the more time that goes by, like for real.
If you're not already a fan, then you're not gonna really care because you're not a fan.
Even as a fan, but as a fan, it's even tougher because you want to see these adaptations, and it's not happening.
I will never lose interest until the movie comes out.
Yeah,
I want the X-Men movie. I'm not gonna lose it.
And it's not coming for years, and then they
that's
tease.
that again. That's
they can't follow up on it, and that's the problem.
No, it's not.
And then when it comes out, it's not
follow up in it.
Yeah,
guys.
like
they're not doing it. Guys, it's not taking them a long time. It's not that they're not coming out with these movies in time. It's that they're telling us about them way too soon. So it seems like they're taking forever. Yeah, before they even made the deal. They're talking about what movie they might do in 10 years, and we're getting the list, and everyone's like, oh, this movie's coming out, and this movie's coming out. Bro, that's 2028.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not thinking. That's not.
Yeah,
people
but-
don't think,
but
but
now
they
I
don't.
don't
People don't think on it that way.
That's the way of the
I
world.
don't believe it's
Listen,
going to come out now.
that is the way of the world now. You have
And that's
to
what
do that.
That's what
ends up
Brandon
happening.
was
People
saying.
go,
It
I don't
comes
think
out
it's
in
gonna happen now.
2020.
No,
That's
they
what
never
Brandon
said
was
it was
saying.
gonna
It
happen
comes out
now.
in
They said it was
2028.
gonna happen in 5 years. It's
You
gonna
hear
happen in
about it?
5 years, not now, not in
Get
2
But
that.
that's what
years,
he was
not next
saying. It
year.
comes out in
Reno,
2028. There's a
listen,
few
Reno,
people, the comic nerds, know about this movie. Most people
Don't know
look,
about
don't
They
know
don't know
until
that
2 months
2028.
before the movie. We
Yeah,
are the
so they're
only
not getting
ones on
tired of it.
pins and needles about what this could be about. No
Yeah,
one else gives a shit.
no,
Yeah,
no one else
exactly.
knows.
They just want the movie.
They
That's
don't
why it's
know.
rushed.
That's
And
why
then
they don't
the
know.
company just wants the money. It's one big domino effect. It's just a shitstorm, bro.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, for real.
And then, on top of that, look at Craven. They introduced it way early.
At the same time,
it's supposed to be coming out what
like,
X-Men?
back in the
Yeah,
day,
like that's like
really
who literally cares about Craven? They dropped the trailer and it's like, okay,
Yeah, they dropped
like
it over the summer, but nobody really cares for it.
Why are you making these movies about characters that, I mean, honestly, Craven would have been really cool in a Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
Not in a movie about Craven with Spider-Man not even
well,
involved.
Venom started the domino effect. Venom started this domino effect. Venom came out.
that's why we got
people
the game.
kind
That's
of
because-
enjoyed
That's why
it,
we got the
and
video
that's
game.
all
of
they
Craven.
needed. That's
Out
they
of
needed.
all of Spider-Man's characters, Venom is one of the only ones that could hold his own.
I
as a
don't believe
character
that.
in a movie.
I
One
don't
of the
know about
only
that one.
ones. No, because the other characters don't have that much going on. Venom has a lot going on.
Yeah, in connection to Spider-Man, though.
No,
like,
just in and of himself.
You
His own character.
had Venom. You had Venom, Lethal Protector. He had his own.
Oh, yeah,
That's
Venom has
one
his
of the
own
biggest
comics.
comics
You
ever.
cannot
Yeah,
say
Venom
that Spider-Man's villains cannot hold their
Black
own.
Heroes
And
Club,
in the
I
same
wish they
breath
would
say
have did
Morbius
that.
got a
I wish they
movie
would have just did.
and that
I wish
Venom
they would
got
have
a
just did
movie.
Venom Lethal
Hold on,
Protector.
guys. You guys are both talking at the same time. No one can hear you. We got to go one at a time. If you see someone talking, either wait or just say, wait. There's no point in talking at the same time. Stu Dog, go ahead.
Yeah, I think Venom Lethal Protector would have been. Venom Lethal Protector is how they should have went with Venom. They did it in the comics because they knew Venom was so popular.
Can't start
You
with
had to
Lethal
kind of put
Protector,
him in the
though.
middle and do something with him
But
because
they
he
can't
was.
start with
Venom
Lethal
came out.
Protector.
That was a super popular character for Marvel, and that's what Sony should have did. They should have just. They can't, but you could always backtrack. They do prequels and all that all the time, but at the same time, they gave us Venom, so why they just couldn't give us Lethal Protector? It would have.
Well, they
made sense to
should.
anybody.
They should give us Lethal Protector. Hold on, guys. Again, talking over each other. It's not going. No one's going to hear you. Sada, go ahead.
No, I'm saying like if Venom is supposed to stand on his own, then I mean I don't see no reason to start with Lethal Protector. But if you feel like we have to start like somewhere else, then I feel like that connects to Spider-Man, and it's just not going to work as well to try and have this Venom origin story and Spider-Man's not involved. To me, that just seems very crazy. But like if you wanted to do like a different point in his life, like as then that's fine. But like from where they started, it's crazy that they did that and Spider-Man was just not there. That just seems like very bizarre to me. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. Spider-Man should definitely be involved in these stories. Yeah, if they're gonna, I get not having Spider-Man in the movie and all of that. That's fine, but I don't know. Somehow link it, talk about it, mention it, make it make sense. Raw talk. What was you gonna say?
With Spider-Man, he had the symbiote suit first.
Exactly.
So why didn't he have him in the movie? Because
exactly.
You know what I mean? That's the problem.
That's my thing.
Yeah. I understand what you're saying, but that's the problem. They're just cash grabbing with these movies.
That's what Disney Plus is for.
They're doing a bad job.
That's what Disney Plus is for.
Hold on, bro.
I'll agree with what Reno said to a degree. Venom of the Spider-Man characters about the only Spider-Man villains. I mean, about the only one that can hold his own movie. There might be one or two others. The ones they're picking though can't hold their own movie. They can't at all. Especially Kraven the Hunter. Kraven the Hunter. If you've read the comics, Kraven the Hunter is a joke The only time Kraven the Hunter has actually had any significance is whenever the Kraven's Last Hunt.
Yeah.
Kraven's Last Hunt is the only time he's had any significance, and then he kills himself. Right. That's the last time he's had any significance.
Yeah.
Well said. Well said. Yeah. Say what you were gonna say before.
It was a joke.
Or you got something you want to say?
Oh no, man, he killed it with that one. That was a mic drop. I have nothing to say. I'm gonna mute.
That was great.
I mean, listen, all the Spider-Man's villains, are one thing. They work well with Spider-Man, but trying to put them without Spider-Man, it's like it seems like a handicap for everybody that reads comics. Now, when you got Kraven was a hunter, and he came to New York to hunt Spider-Man. That's a villain for Spider-Man instead of keep giving us the same old Montclair villains or a half-ass Mysterio like we got in the new Spider-Man movie. It was good, but I thought it could have been better. But I would have did Kraven with Spider-Man in that instead of Mysterio. Now, when you go to Venom, Lethal Protector can be rewound. You can say, all right, when you read the Lethal Protector comics, Spider-Man's not him. He's not him at all. We just know that Venom hates Spider-Man. We know that. You could portray that, do Lethal Protector. You can give us maybe an hour-long movie about the black suit and how he got it and move on with our lives. Like we go back in comics and read older comics to figure out something about Venom or Spider-Man or Kraven that we didn't know. You could do the same thing with cinema. Just make a little hour-long show, half hour to explain all of that and then move forward. Lethal Protector would have been perfect for Venom to stand alone on because now we just got Venom. That's just it. It's just Venom. And
well, the reason that they don't do that, with movies is because they can't risk them losing money on the buildup. If they got to go back to explain it, and they might, the beginning might not make sense. You can't start Venom with Lethal Protector. We gotta know who Venom is first. The very next thing that they should do logically is go to making Lethal Protector. You gave us the origin. Doing that Carnage shit was not the move. Carnage is a whole saga. You don't do Carnage in a fucking movie. One thing in a 2-hour movie. No. It's just that was a stupid next move. Lethal Protector would have been great, but yeah, Venom. I think Black Heroes Club is asking why make a Kraven movie, and that's kind of what we're saying. Like, why make a Kraven movie? Why make these movies about these two-dimensional villains? Because a lot of these villains, exactly. Morbius. Well, see, Morbius was a miss. They fucked up because Morbius is a character that has his own, and he's got his own book, and they could have done that good, but they did not. It was just they did it wrong. The issue was, and that's the thing.
I watched it.
Brandon, what'd you say?
The issue with something like Morbius compared to Venom is Venom had a lot more name recognition than Morbius.
Yeah.
Like, because of Todd McFarlane and everything that he did in the 90s, Venom blew up. Whereas Morbius, if you're a comic fan, specifically a Spider-Man fan, you knew Morbius. There were comic fans that had no idea who the hell Morbius was. So having characters like Morbius or Kraven the Hunter, these basically just saying it's C-list characters to the mass, it's a horrible idea. Whereas Venom, he is a bigger name.
Yeah, that Venom was the only one I think that really made sense to try. I don't think they executed it perfectly or anything. I'm not saying that, but it at least made sense. But these other villains, these two-dimensional and, like you said, C-list villains carrying their own movie without the mention or inclusion of Spider-Man is a stupid thing to do. And I know why they're doing it, because
they're wasting money, and it's an insult to continuity. I know that sounds fucked up, but it's true. It's to the point that the movies are deterring people from the books. Like people don't even want to buy the books because the movies are so goddamn. Hey, you feel me?
Right.
Hey, I wanted to make this statement. This is where I need to make sure. But the reason why Sony doesn't talk about Spider-Man is the reason why he doesn't get introduced is because he no longer belongs to them. That's why they can't say anything about him because they don't.
They own Spider-Man. All the Spider-Man movies are Sony.
They got it
licensed on
from Sony. Like MCU licensed it from Sony.
Exactly.
So they don't.
Spidey,
So
yeah.
Yeah. No,
They just got
Sony's
villains
got the
and they
right.
got those villains with them.
Sony has the right
And they just
for
trying to use
Spider-Man
It's a
and
ball
all.
juggle.
Yeah.
They throw things back and forth between each other. They basically doing the same. They're butt buddies.
No, Sony owns the rights to all of Spider-Man and his rogues and his villains. And in order to capitalize on that and not just be able to make Spider-Man movies with all those characters that they own, they want to make some money off all that shit.
Yes.
So they're making movies with all their characters because they think they have this big. They think they made a good deal by buying Spider-Man and all his villains. Oh, we have all these characters to work with. No, you just have Spider-Man villains that only work with Spider-Man. But they didn't know that when they bought that. I promise you. But that's what they got. And so now they got these characters. And so again, they could just sit there and make a Spider-Man movie every couple years. Or they can put out a bunch of different movies with a bunch of different characters, they think it's going to make money because they don't realize that these characters were not meant to be to hold their own stories. That's not how they were designed.
Who produced No Way Home with Spider-Man? Like the
Sony. That's a Sony movie. Tom Holland, Sony.
So the one where Iron Man makes an appearance. That's
Tom Holland. Yes. So Iron Man went over to the Sony movie, and Tom Holland went over in Civil War in the MCU movie.
It's a collaboration. But the reason why they make those movies is so they won't lose the license because they have to make a Spider-Man movie
right
a certain calendar year. If they do not, the rights revert back to Marvel.
Yep.
You understand? So they keeping it
for so many years.
Really,
so many years.
They have to make a movie, if they don't make it, they use it or lose it.
Black Heroes Club, a perfect example. Black Heroes Club, perfect example is Ninja Turtles. You ever notice that every so many years we get a new Ninja Turtles, a new drawing, because that's the deal that Nickelodeon has with the comic book. They have to put out a Ninja Turtles movie or something with Ninja Turtles every so often, or they'll lose the rights. And I think I know it's years. I think it's like every so many years. That's why we got this new Ninja Turtles movie. The Turtles look different now. And Nickelodeon got smart.
That reminds me of a conversation I had with my older brother once. When we were asking each other, why are these people writing these scripts and casting these people and making these movies? And they don't even know the fucking story. But they haven't even done their homework to know what, you know what I'm saying? What even to write the story to tell. Like, where are they getting these folks? You see what I'm saying? Like, we were having conversations about that.
These are all Hollywood producers, Hollywood productions, like Sony, all this stuff. They will go to the people that they've made movies with before and have done good in making those movies. So they'll get them to do it. The issue is those people don't have any
They're not comic fans.
On comics. Yeah, exactly.
To where, they don't know, and they don't even take the time to know. It's money. Time is money. They don't even give a fuck about the story to the point that the story that they tell. There's that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's crazy. It's crazy.
No, they really do. They don't give a damn, bro. They'll put out whatever they think is gonna make money. It's not. They're not caring about continuity or the source material or being loyal to the character and none of that shit. And again, like he said, I think he put it perfectly. They're not trying to pick people that are who really knows this character. That's who I want to make this movie. No, they're gonna be who made us $100 million last year. Let's get them to make this movie. That's how they think. That's how.
This is business. Ultimately, it is a business. As awful as that sounds, it's a business, and these are people putting their investment, so they're going with people they've seen do good before. The issue is they don't realize that those people don't know the source material, nor do the investors care about that.
Yeah,
exactly, and they don't know how important that is. That's the thing. It's like they don't know, but they don't know how important it is that they know, and that's the problem.
And then people are being introduced to these characters through these stories that are written by these people. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They don't know what you know what I'm saying.
I'm going to start a company for Hollywood called Culture Liaison, where I go in and tell them, you're doing this movie. Let me tell you about the culture behind this movie.
Right.
The characters. And this will make it successful for you to make $1 billion. That's all I'm going to do.
You would think that's common. I'm saying you would think it's a no-brainer. You would think that's what they would do. They would go try to find an expert on it. I know they think they are. They think they're getting, oh, this guy's he knows the characters, he knows the movies, whatever. They get their so-called comic experts or whatever, but it'd be bullshit, man. And again, they're not looking for who knows the source material the best. They're looking for who they know made them money the most, and they can invest, because it's all a gamble. Like he said, it's a business. It's also a gamble. Movies are a fucking huge gamble. They're putting hundreds of millions of dollars on the line, and they may lose it all, or they may make no money or whatever. So they're trying to make a little bit of money. That's their goal.
Yeah.
They don't realize. Make one. Sorry, Black Heroes Club. Go ahead, man.
No, I apologize for interrupting you. I wonder how much it would take to actually make our dreams come true, because it wouldn't, in my opinion, it wouldn't, like Ninja Turtles. Like, we get 4 guys dressed up as Ninja Turtles, and we just tell the story. No action, no nothing like that. Just the story. If it cost us $30,000 to make, I wonder how much money we could actually make off of it.
Well, that's an independent mind state. We're talking about. You gotta understand. We're
none.
They're
not.
None. You would make no money.
We're not doing it right. Let's do it ourselves.
Well, if we do it ourselves, you know how much you got to pay to license the characters. You gotta know.
But
that's over $100 million easy.
Yeah. I bet you.
We don't have that.
I bet you if we went and talked to them and we actually came with a decent script and everything, I bet you that if we gave them a little cameo or we threw them, profit margins or whatever, they do.
I've known people to bring scripts and they sold their script, but the end product was not their script. You know what I mean? So that's what it is. They buy you out.
And when someone buys your one line out of your script.
Yeah, once they buy your script, they can change it completely, and now your movie is not your movie anymore. There's nothing you could do about it because they bought your script.
Right.
They now own
also a major thing with most of Hollywood is, do you have a track record? Going back to what we were talking about. If you don't have a track record, they're not going to listen to anything you say.
Exactly. They don't care about. Yeah, we could go and show them, we really know about this character and all of that. You could prove all that you know about the character and all that, and like he said, it doesn't matter because we have no track record. We're nobody. It's not about what you know, it's who you know. That's Hollywood. We know that.
Unless you attend those Hollywood Coke parties, you won't.
Orgies and all that. Yeah.
And that's the fact right there. You gotta be at the Coke party.
Eyes wide shut.
Hey, make sure you get that friend ready to sacrifice to Illuminati so you can get that the X-Men movie paid and made correctly for you.
So you can get that meeting. Jeez.
Yeah, I mean, but at the end of the day, Hollywood is going to do what it does. But it's up to the consumers to boycott with their wallet, because that's the best thing you can do.
That's what I'm saying. And listen, please boycott that Rey movie when Karen Kennedy puts that Star Wars movie out about Rey. Don't go see it. Don't give her no money.
I didn't even know they were making a Rey movie.
Yeah, they are. Oh, that's crazy. Oof.
Hey.
Yeah, don't. If we don't, the problem is they'll keep pumping that shit out because they know regardless it's gonna sell. People are gonna watch it. Stop going to see that shit. We didn't know with the sequel trilogy. We have an excuse. We didn't know. We were bamboozled at first. We were sold a dream. We fucking thought it was great at first, but like wait a minute. When you think about it, hold on. What did they just do to me? And they tricked us. But you can't fool me again. George W. Bush.
Fool me once, shame
on me. Shame on you. Can't fool me again.
Yeah, fool me 3 times and can't get fooled again.
Can't be fooled again.
I might go back. I might go back and watch it again. Maybe I missed something, and they might make another 2 to redeem number 1. So of course I got to go to the theater and see that. But won't be a third time. There won't be a third.
These also killing the movies are these like shared type of universes. Instead of having them standalone, like Marvel could do better now if they say, all right, we're gonna make a movie about Spider-Man versus the Sinister Six. Cool. Let that live on its own.
Yeah.
Oh, then we're gonna do Iron Man versus whoever. Then we're gonna let it live on its own. You don't have to have everybody coming in to battle one big bad guy at the end, because not every
You know how bad I wanted that Sinister Six movie.
You know,
Yeah,
wars or something like that. You know, you shouldn't have that. You know, but every franchise want a Secret Wars ending, like a Infinity Gauntlet ending. Not every story is like that in the comic
right.
book. You know, sometimes it's just a one.
That's the thing, man. Everybody's yeah, every movie is not gonna be Endgame. You know, Endgame took 10 years. It took so many movies to build up to be Endgame. That's why it was Endgame. That's why it was dope. If that movie would have just came out by itself out of nowhere, it wouldn't have been what it was. It was dope to see Captain America pick up the hammer and throw that shit. Like that was amazing because we know what all that meant. But if you didn't know what that meant for Cap to pick that hammer up, then it wouldn't have been amazing. And shit like that, like you know, and so you can't expect every movie to do that.
And even what was the one with Ultron?
Yeah.
Even the Age of Ultron, when they were trying to pick up the hammer, and Black Widow was like, "Nah, I've been there, done that." She has actually picked up Thor's hammer and used it. That's why that's only comic book fans would get that. Like, we're the only ones that would get that.
Right, and you know that build up made that movie great, and you know that's not going to come with every movie, so you can't expect every movie to be that. And like with Quantum Mania, it's you know, there's the movie wasn't that bad, bro. It wasn't. Don't try it because it's not Endgame. It's not supposed to be. It's just a little bit. But yeah, that's fine. Let them do that. We know better. It can't be that. Of course, they're gonna want it to be.
I mean, you can't be mad at people if their expectations are a little.
I'm not mad at anybody,
but it as a big thing with Kang, and Kang's supposed to be the villain.
But it's the beginning. But it's the beginning of a story. It's the beginning. It's one of like a whole bunch of movies. And that's what Raw Talk was saying. Instead of trying to make everything link up and be connected, if they would have just made the movies stand alone, then they would be better and they'd be you know, praised more. But you know, when a movie's a part of a bigger picture, people are gonna be like, "Oh, what's this movie about? This movie sucks. The ending didn't make sense. Blah blah blah. Like, why'd they come here?" Because it's part of this bigger story, and they're not pumping them out fast enough because they're movies. They should have done this shit. Look, comics are series. Comics are like TV shows.
Yeah.
Every book is like an episode. Comics stories need to be told as such, not in movies, but in shows. They should have changed the whole fucking MCU should be a fucking series monster, not a movie monster, because that would have been cool. I mean 10 episode a season real series like Game of Thrones status.
Well, what I was gonna say was, in light of this conversation, just over this general conversation, what are y'all personal opinions on the Marvel movie that's coming out, the Marvels? Like, what do y'all think?
Oh, I won't be seeing that, so
I don't really care. We don't really care.
No one cares.
We just don't care. Yeah, we just don't care. Like y'all said,
I will watch it illegally.
Yeah, I will bootleg it.
I'm gonna watch it. Yeah, I'm gonna watch it.
I will not go to the theater. I promise.
Yeah,
but you never know. Certain things will surprise you. I mean, within certain
that movie could be okay.
I like the Miss Marvel's Disney Plus show. I liked it. Yeah. I liked
that movie. It was. Out of all the shit that we've gotten so far, it might be one of the decent projects that we've gotten lately. Yeah. But still,
or it's gonna be a chick flick. Or they're gonna make it a chick flick. No, and I guarantee you, it's gonna be a chick flick.
At the same time, I wouldn't mind it that way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind it. It is.
I wouldn't mind it because that's their point of view as female characters. We got to understand that everything can't be over masculine or whatever. We have to take it for what it is. All right, these female characters are going to see things from a female perspective, so we got to respect that. You know what I'm saying? Just like when we have male characters, we expect females to not question, why did he do that? Why was he?
Right.
You wouldn't understand it, but I understand it. So I mean, it's cool.
I understand that.
You know what I mean? But I can't have, you know, Miss Marvel walking around thinking she's the Incredible Hulk.
You
Well, I
do
said it.
realize Monica Rambeau is one of the most powerful people in the Marvel universe, right? And not even through just the Marvel universe. She can control dark matter and just matter anywhere in every universe. She can multiverse travel and manipulate. What are you talking about? She could blow a hole through the Hulk if she got a chance. What are you talking about? This should not be a chick flick. Now, does it have to be a bunch of chicks swinging their dicks? No.
That's what he's saying.
But is it like, Kamala's boyfriend breaks up with her and then they got to come rescue her from the mountain? Man, no. It don't have to be that. It can be a superhero film. That's what I mean by not a chick flick.
Because, from the point of view of women.
That's our
point. I get that, but like I look
that's
at
the point we always
record.
make on this channel, right? That's the point we always make on this channel. If it's a good story, Reno says it all the time. If it's a good story, a superhero story, that's cool. The politics we don't need. I don't need the politics. Just give me a good superhero versus supervillain story. I don't need the politics. I don't need to know. I don't need to know your sexual preference. I don't need to know if your boyfriend is. I don't need to none of that. I don't need to know none of that. That has nothing to do with the story. Just give me a story of hero, good versus evil.
My boyfriend broke up and I'll blow Metropolis.
Like I get what Ron is saying, but like you just look back at their track record and how they've treated female characters, and it's not like we've gotten just a slew of amazingly written female characters in the MCU. We have not. I can count on one hand the number of great female characters that we've gotten out of the MCU. So it's just like I want to believe going into the Marvels that this is not going to be something where it's like men are evil or something of that nature. But look at the first movie, and it was literally just about how every male in Carol's life kept her down, and now that her leash is broken, she's free. Woo! And it's like that's not really compelling. So going into the sequel, for that aspect, I don't care. They haven't really done much with Monica, so I'm not exactly invested. And
I'm not trying to sit through 2 hours 45 minutes of a damn period sync up. I want to see a movie. I want to see a movie. Yeah, I understand that they're women, but these are the Marvels. Do you feel what I'm saying? Yes, the Hulk's the Hulk. I'm down. But these are the Marvels. Come on now.
I'm down. I feel you. Nah, like I don't want to see 2 hours of them like showing how feminine they are.
It's emotional.
Look how women act, and we're gonna pillow fight now, and all of that. Like, we could definitely square that away in 5 minutes of the film and move on. I hope.
If we go to it with like Endgame, when all the girls got together and battled, that shit was dope to me. I was like, oh, they wilding, they over here busting ass.
Word, that was cool.
I'm talking about that's the dope shit.
See, to me, I found that to be forced, so I didn't really enjoy that as much as I
wasn't gonna say anything. I wasn't gonna say anything, but yeah.
No, it was very, very forced.
They singled out all the main female characters for that one fight. Serious? Why was that necessary?
I don't understand that.
It doesn't make any sense.
It was dope nonetheless. It was just still dope. Like
I still thought it was dope.
In the comic books, them fighting Thanos. Like even if the dudes wasn't even around, they was fighting somebody else. The females just happened to get together. I mean, it still was dope.
I wasn't cheering, but I was like, "Oh, that's cool." That's what I mean by it was dope. Like it didn't fucking set it off.
That scene didn't really impress me, but you know what did? The scene right after it, well, homegirl from Wakanda, the rhino was running right after, and she stood in front of it and it stopped immediately. That was harder than that whole fight scene to me. I'm sorry.
It's just the way that you have to like present it. Like I feel like them all coming together and then that one moment, it just felt like kind of forced when you could have easily just incorporated them throughout the entire fight that when it was happening, and then they all just come together and it's like
one-on-one fights. Each of them fucking a bunch of people up. And you know what I'm saying, the little clips with everybody else. Why did all the chicks? First of all, how they end up in the same place? You know what I'm saying? That doesn't make no damn sense. There's a whole war going on, and everybody that is important is in the ditch. That doesn't make any sense.
But I think what Raw Talk is saying is that that's how it is in comic books, and that is just like how a comic book would be. Just that corny, just that cheesy, just that on the nose, and for that. Okay, it's like I give it like, and that's what I seen it as too. I just saw it as like, oh, this is a real funny comic book moment. it's like tongue in cheek. It's like, oh, here come all the women. Like it was what it was, but it was tongue in cheek. I mean, I don't think it was meant to be super serious. It was obviously forced. Obviously, it was what it was. It was on the nose. I mean, let's say what like it was what it was. But I think that's what I mean. I think they hit the mark for what they were doing. And again, like I said, it didn't blow me away. I just thought it was cool. It was a cool little scene.
And then
It's a cool little scene. It's a cool comic booky scene.
Sometimes we do take our comic book characters seriously and forget they are just comic book characters. That's it.
A wise man told me that once. A wise man told me that once. Remember, those are comic books. And so remember, those are comic books. Life is life.
Yeah, but they're our. You got to look at it like this, y'all. They're our escape from reality. Like, you got, we read those books. We read those books to entertain ourselves. Like, we take it seriously, and we don't want to disrespect it because everybody here can read the same thing. Like, we can read a Batman book that has no pictures, and we all have a different interpretation in our heads.
All different.
But there's some things that of like visually, but there's some things that visually we'll all see the same, or we'll all understand the same. But in our heads, what we see is different. So yeah, they're just comic book characters, but that's what the world gave us, and that's what we like, and we're passionate about it. And there's nothing wrong with that, man. There's nothing wrong with us being passionate about something that we like because it's entertaining to us. And life would be boring if we didn't have it.
Stamp it.
I agree. There's a difference between you know what I'm saying, you know, reading a run and being like, oh shit, dope, and then standing in the middle of the street trying to turn into a Super Saiyan. There's a difference. You feel what I'm saying? So I feel it.
It's a big difference, right? Yeah, it's a big difference because look at the background. Look at Reno's background. What he has back. Look at Raw Talk's background. Look at Sada's background. Everybody has something back there that they like, and it's something that they feel strongly connected to. And it's we're connected to it. Not only are we connected to it physically, but we're connected to it mentally as well. Some of us, you know, see ourselves in Batman or Superman or Wonder Woman or Aquaman or whatever hero you love. We kind of see ourselves in that role a little bit, regardless to whether you want to consciously say it or not. But that's where it gets personal, and that's why people get mad because they're like, "Damn, you won't give me this bull crap? I've been watching this. Damn, and he did this, and he should have really did this."
Fuck me with childhood.
That's why we're connected. Yes, we are connected. We are all connected.
Absolutely.
And it even brought us all together in this podcast to be connected together to sit here and talk about this.
Absolutely.
I mean? And that's what makes it so fun, man. That's why I love it.
Shout out to Everyday a Story. He said, "What is the Moon Knight news?" And yes, we did have some key things that we put on Instagram that we would be talking about, and there is some dope Moon Knight news. Jed McKay's Moon Knight has been perfect since it started. We're talking comics here. He's become a different hero who's become heavily focused on protecting his community. And over the past year, one of Mark Spector's biggest villains, Black Spectre, has been making his life hell. And so much of the that Marvel Comics announced that Moon Knight will die in December of this year. However, this isn't the end for the Fist of Khonshu. The Lunar Legionnaire will return 1 month after he is killed. But Mark Spector, Stephen Grant, Jake Lockley have all died in Marvel Comics. Coming back from the dead is sort of his thing. It's nothing. Yeah, and actually, you know,
I was just about to say when you said, I was about to be like, again.
Exactly, and he's actually said this, right? And Mark, you know, he may also be one of the few people who've died more than Jean Grey. And it's the biggest mystery. Will be how will he come back? Really, is like what the new, you know, that's the only thing you can really question, not if but how. And like during Jed McKay's run, Khonshu informed Mark and Yaya Bader, Hunter's Moon, the next time that they die, there's no resurrection for them. So if Khonshu didn't bring him back, who did? And more importantly, what is the next step for Mark Spector as a hero? The writer believes that whatever Jed McKay does will be amazing. And I think because he's a dope writer, I think he's one of the best that's had the character. And he's had 25 issues, super intense, super violent. just in the best, very entertaining way. You know what I'm saying? And more importantly, the series has dove into the lore of the Egyptian moon god and his avatars and all of that cool stuff that kind of we were talking about with Hotep earlier, and something that's become, important to his increasing popularity. Moon Knight is definitely sort of known for that now, and a lot of people that are into Egyptian lore and stuff like that love the character and stuff like that. Vengeance of the Moon Knight, the comic book series, should add more to Moon Knight's growing, mythos and lore and all of that. And hopefully that includes Dr. Bader and Reese, because they become the most important characters in Mark Spector's life. And for now, I think, a lot hasn't been really reported yet. But nevertheless, McKay did say this: Moon Knight may be dying, but vengeance of the Moon Knight rises, clawing itself from the grave. End quote. So basically, he'll be back in that next series. So they're doing a new series, and yeah, it's gonna be dope. Vengeance of the Moon Knight. So look out for that.
That sounds super dope.
That was dope. That sounds deep. I like that.
Yeah,
that was dope.
Be good. Oh, another one is the Marvel Zombies joint.
Yeah, that's one.
Yeah, Marvel Zombies joint. Bomb. Check out Wolverine, dog.
Look at that.
So we've done a lot of Marvel Zombies like that, and
that's next month. Yeah.
Black, White, and Blood. Black, White, and Blood has been a dope series. Basically, they've been doing a lot of like throwback stories and stuff like that, and they print them in all black and white if you're unfamiliar with them, except all the blood is all red, or anything that's red is red. And the rest of it, the comics black and white, and it looks really cool. They've done Deadpool's done one. Every character's had a black, white, and blood. DC jumped in. I know Wonder Woman had a black, white, and gold, or some black, white, and gold, or whatever. Superman had a red, blue, and white. Batman has a black and white and just black and white. But the undead, or the zombie joint, Marvel Zombies Black, White, and Blood #1. Daredevil, Spider-Man, Iron Man, and Moon Knight. So a dope lineup right there off top. And I got some dope pictures for y'all. Let's check this out. Bing, bing, bing. There he is.
Okay.
Boom. It's Iron Man right there. Spidey.
That's mad dope.
Yo, look at Daredevil kicking dude's face off.
Yeah.
Yo, this shit is dope. Yo, his jaw shit coming off. Yo, that's deep. Yeah, man, that shit looks dope.
That shit goes dumb hard. That
will be here.
Stupid
That will
hard.
be here next month. That's coming next month.
Yeah, these are gonna be dope covers. For real. I can't wait to grab these covers. But yeah, it'll be there's gonna be 4 of them. So it's a 4 shot, little four banger mini series.
Nice.
It says Marvel's hit Black, White, and Blood series brings violent and savage adventures to Marvel Universe. Set in the midst of a zombie apocalypse, the best-selling line makes its return in October, just in time for Halloween, to deliver the tales of horror from a variety of Marvel writers and artists. In addition to Spider-Man, Daredevil, Moon Knight, and Iron Man, more members of the Avengers and the X-Men are expected to make appearances throughout the 4-part Marvel Zombies anthology. Yeah, man. I can't wait. That's gonna be October 25th.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Literally just in time for Halloween.
Oh, hell yeah.
Invincible. They got all 19 characters that's going to be in season 2. So we talk about Invincible a lot. We talk about season 2 taking a long ass time, and finally they're giving us some details and goods. Can y'all see that? Yeah, see that. Hold up, there it is. All 19 superheroes confirmed to appear with photos. They got obviously Invincible right there. Omni-Man, of course. Adam Eve, she got her own little mini movie already. Robot, of course. Rexplode. These are all from season 1. Duplicate. Shrinking Ray. Monster Girl. Alan the Alien. So far, all from season 1. Black Samson. The Mauler Twins, season 1. The Immortal, season 1. Doc Seismic.
We're just all from season 1.
Yeah, so far.
Who made the articles? What I want to know. Right?
Yeah, they recycle so hard.
I don't know. Was Doc? Doc Seismic was in it.
Yeah, he was in season 1.
What about Kill Cannon? Was he in?
He was also in season 1.
I don't recognize him.
I think like one episode. It was like one time.
Yeah, he's like a one-off.
Okay.
Bad guy. Yeah.
Yeah, it is what it says. In all honesty, Kill Cannon is not the most noteworthy of the season 1 villains, besides being the first to lose to Invincible. So yeah, only appearing in 2 episodes. So they do admit that that's what they're showing us. Lizard League members.
Okay.
Season 2 poster. Yeah, season 2 poster shows a blonde member of the Lizard League, while there is speculation that Tatiana Maslany will return to the Queen Lizard role she played in the Invincible Adam Eve special. So the Lizard League member doesn't look like the Queen in her past iteration. So I guess she was a character that was in the Adam Eve special, but will look different. And there is a new team, Shapesmith. He's from the comics, not in season 1. Shapesmith is one of 3 characters not to have a voice actor announced as playing him yet, but he is visible clear as day on the 2nd season's poster. Darkwing 2. So Darkwing was in it, but Darkwing 2, I believe, is his son. The original Darkwing was a member of the original Guardians of the Globe, was killed based on the trailer. Fans know, First Darkwing had no powers, Running theories that Darkwing 2 is the same as Night Boy, Darkwing's assistant and successor as the protector of Midnight City. Bulletproof. Dope character. Yeah, that was a highly anticipated
excited to see that. If they're going to have Bulletproof, that's going to be interesting. Because I believe he comes in when Mark is not invincible for that period of time. So that's gonna be interesting.
Yeah. Include him. Yeah. Yep. It looks like he's wearing like a suit like Mark's.
Yeah, because he comes in while Mark is not.
So he kind of takes his place, his role.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Just talking about the article, I think it's kind of funny that the person who wrote it couldn't get away with 5 or 6 characters coming in season 2.
Yeah,
like you got to have like 20 man. This has to be a 10-minute read. It can't be a 1-minute read.
Yo, all they did was copy and paste the old list.
They're on a deadline. Like get it in.
Yeah. And make it fat, because you're right. They could have just done these are the new characters coming to season 2. All right, but anyway, Angstrom Levi, he was a dope looking dude from the comics. I had all these comics at one point, and sold them all on Instagram like 5 times. Had them, sold them, had them, sold them, had them, sold them. Don't have him currently, but he was a cool looking dude. He was confirmed as the villain for season 2 of Invincible and will be played by Sterling K. Brown.
Ooh,
a
nice.
quick Google search. Yeah, I'm not sure who that is, but a quick Google search will offer viewers a depiction of the villain that appears to be missing from the new season's poster. But eagle-eyed fans may notice that Angstrom appears multiple times on the poster, just appearing very differently than a cursory glance would make fans expect. I'm not sure what that means. Regardless, along with the high intelligence, Angstrom Levi has the ability to travel to other universes besides his, making him a character with tons of possibilities going into the new season. So he's a lot like Kang in a way, I guess.
I gotta see this poster because they don't reference it at all in this article. Like no image at all. Like
where's the season 2 poster? I know, right? Who is missing? One major superpower character is missing from the posters and a list of confirmed returning characters. First, Damien Darkblood. the demon detective played by Clancy Brown, who was sent back to hell at the end of season 1. You remember Damien Darkblood? He was the Hellboy looking guy with the trench coat. He's not listed. Having been a major force in uncovering the truth about Omni-Man in the first season, Damien's absence is noteworthy. However, there is still plenty of time to speculate and wait for announcements as season 2 premieres on Amazon Video on November 3rd. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Well, I know season 1 was cool as hell. The comics are dope as fuck, so season 2 is going to be decent at least. But I'm sure it'll be great all this time that's gone by. Come on. You made something good, didn't you?
Oh yeah, has anybody heard about that? What's going on with that? With the writer joint, like, is that over or?
I think they're coming to like a deal, so it's about to be officially over, I believe.
Yeah, the writing one, as of yesterday or the day before they announced.
And then the actor one.
To come to a deal.
Nice.
News on
That's up in the air. I think that's still going. Yeah.
But you know we got AI, so fuck it.
No.
I'll do it. I'll be Tom Cruise.
One last thing I had to cover is The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead's new spin-off, Daryl Dixon, because it's dope. I stopped watching Walking Dead like before the ones where they start wearing the zombie skins. Like that's where I fell off. The Whispers, yeah, that's kind of like where I stopped. I fell off, maybe even a little before that, but and then all the spinoffs since then, like the first spinoff was cool, like that was good, but some of these last ones have been really cheap and just trash, not even watchable. But this Daryl Dixon one, I feel like kind of captures that quality of the original, first few seasons, you know. Of the original show.
Daryl Dixon was made for. It's true.
Not from
Daryl
the
Dixon
comic.
was made for the show. Yeah,
Man, they said The Walking Dead.
And they planned on doing that with him from the start.
They said The Walking Dead ran for 177 episodes.
Crazy.
I believe
it.
I believe it.
It was a successful genre, the zombie genre.
Oh God.
Because it's not even about the zombies, it's about survival. So
it's about the people, right?
Yeah, so that's what makes it dope.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, Daryl Dixon. But episode 3. So basically, there's these super strength zombies, and basically, it's like a variant of the zombie created by humans. They did not evolve naturally, and we find out in this episode that they've been seen in previous in other shows and shit like that, but no one ever knew where they came from. And so apparently they're created by this geneticist or whatever who does these experiments, and he's got these drugs that enhance the zombie strength and speed. And not all of the zombie variants in Walking Dead are created by the scientist, suggesting that there may be other factors at play. But in episode 3, and so this whole show, by the way, takes place in France. So Daryl ends up in fucking France somehow. Comes off a boat, and for some reason he's in France, and he's trying to get back to America. He's like, how can I get back to America? I gotta find. He's trying to find a baguette. No, he's trying to get.
That's how most travelers feel when they get off a boat in France. They're just trying to get back to America.
Trying to get back.
They gotta get back. Yeah.
Turn around immediately. But nah, he can't find nobody. Obviously, it's Apocalypse. Who's nobody's doing charters. So he's trying to find something, a way back. And then there's this, there's rumors of a port where ships come and some, there's rumors, right? So they got to get to this place. That's kind of the whole gist of it. He's trying to get to where the ships come so he can get back home. But previously in The Walking Dead, it was unclear whether these variant zombies were created scientifically or if they evolved somehow throughout the apocalypse or by whatever, is going on, evolving or whatever. And Daryl Dixon all but confirms the former theory is more accurate, while the episode 3 scene doesn't explicitly show how the variant came to be, or what they're exactly doing. There's definitely, you can see that it's obviously he's hooked up to machines and shit like that. You can tell the scientists are doing something, creating him or altering him or whatever, attempting to upgrade its strength and speed for whatever reason. Who fucking knows why they would want to do this? And the biggest clue is there's a guy in the background. He's like, we're making progress. You just hear, and so you know what they're doing, but they're doing something. And these two like sort of details imply that this zombie was not pre-existing, basically is what I'm saying, or caught in the wild that way. So you can tell that they did this to him. Again, they don't spell it out, but yeah, it's so unfortunately, for her, it appears that the effects only last 18 seconds before the variant explodes, and literally explodes. And one would also imagine that if this zombie possessed super strength when it was found, the creature would have torn its chains out already, because that's what it does. And it tears the chains out like Sloth from the Goonies. And obviously he was not already that strong, so whatever they did, he was able to do that. So that burst of energy suggests that the zombie strength and speed have something to do with the technical apparatus in the room. And the wider significance of this episode scene is this: certain groups possessing the required resources and knowledge have figured out a way of souping up their zombie Nazis in The Walking Dead. And some concoction of drugs administered in the right way appears to result in the undead growing significantly stronger and gaining the ability to literally run top speed and like just total nightmare. So it's no stretch of the imagination to theorize that these doctors could have been, or these zombies could have been produced by similar doctors or whatever elsewhere, or in some other time. And these sort of revelations that have been made will connect the major hint that the Walking Dead spinoff drops in every single episode via the opening credits. The Daryl Dixon intro sequence features a shot of the textbook opening at the front with the Da Vinci type drawings and diagrams of the anatomy and all of that. You could tell like scientists working on it, and a lot of the annotations you can't really see even if you pause it. I tried, but two of them stand out: Contrez la Mort and Punt the Enter, and basically are French for control the dead and point of entry. So it's cool. Some real the diagram also highlights the zombie's muscles and heart and facial veins. And if there was any doubt about this being this scientist, this geneticist's work, you can see the symbol. Her symbol is there, and hopefully it's right there. You can see it on the page. So all the hints are in this textbook in the opening credit scene, and they sort of confirm, all right, bro, I'll see you later, man. What the audience has witnessed in episode 3: the geneticists, the scientists, they're using these drugs to make these zombies stronger and faster. Peace. And basically the highlighted Uber note in the book gives the different variants the potential new name. I guess they're Uber zombies. That's what they're gonna call them, Uber walkers or whatever. The Uber. And another piece of the puzzle may be provided by one of the Daryl Dixon's promotional trailers, where you have like the footage released prior to the episode 1, like a captured zombie, kind of like the one that we see in this scene, being injected in the neck with something, right? And so while that drug could be a tranquilizer of some kind, the needle does it hits the zombie in the exact same spot where that Punt to Enter is written on the textbook. So you can kind of put it together. And all that moment has transpired. Not yet. It hasn't really happened in the show yet. We know what's coming up, and this scene is sort of a cool foreshadowing to that. And man, so check that out. That is our Walking Dead.
I gotta stop it.
Daryl Dixon news for the night.
Just for a second. I'm a big Resident Evil fan. Okay. Why do they keep experimenting with the goddamn zombie virus? Why do they have to make them stronger and faster? And why? Why?
I'm gonna tell you.
I don't know. I don't get it.
Why do they keep doing this?
I'm gonna tell you
I'm
why.
sorry. That's always
Because
running through my head. And as you kept going, it kept getting worse.
Umbrella's trying to make a super soldier, so they want to weaponize it, and that's why they keep making it stronger. That's why Albert Wesker was the way he was, because he took it, and that's just the whole premise. Just they want to weaponize it and make it into something.
It goes,
but it kept getting worse, and with each game
Thank
they
you,
kept
Brandon.
weaponizing.
Thank you,
like,
Brandon. That's what
the
I'm
hell are
saying.
they doing?
I'm saying it's
wiping
not
out the
getting any better,
population.
and they keep going. They won't stop. They need to experiment. Like they need to get to shelter and high ground, but they keep experimenting on the zombies and shit.
Well, I mean, that's what Nazis do, and they have been doing in the 1940s, 1930s. They actually did shit like this.
Oh yeah, experimenting with the occult and all of that.
Yeah, so
and that's why
everything we're seeing is just already been manifested already. They're just giving it to
government, man. Damn, slow it down, man. It's already a zombie apocalypse. So you sitting here making it stronger.
Yeah, we do. We know Germans smoked a lot of weed, and they were smoking. That's how they came with the idea for the rocket, and that's it was. You know what? What if there was a what if there was a zombie that we could just make an army out of? And then they just started talking German, and next thing you know, they was trying it. That's how they came up with the M2 rocket, smoking weed. I'm telling y'all.
But
just like
zombies
the Obama theory I got. Just like my
I smoke a lot of weed, bro. I smoke a lot of weed, man. I never once thought about making a fucking zombie, period. And then if I did have that, if I got so high I had that thought that I executed it. That's some really strong weed. And I executed it. My next thought would not be, let me make this dude stronger. I think I should make him uber. I think he should be uber strong, like hella, like ridiculously fast. Like why? Why? It doesn't make any sense.
And weed is not gonna. Weed is gonna make me do the opposite. Like, let me figure out how to make these motherfuckers chill out.
Hungry, happy, sleepy.
Yes, let me try to make the zombies chill. You know what? Let's figure out how to get the zombies high. Let's figure out how to make the zombies ingest the weed. And then, yes, let's get the zombies high. Let's figure out how to get them high, and then they'll just sit down.
Harvest the weed. Let's figure out how to get the zombies to harvest the weed. We ain't got it good, and they doing it 24 hours a day.
Check it out. Zombies don't have to be undead. Zombies are people who lack free will.
That's true.
Yeah, I never see that movie Warm Bodies. Yeah, I ain't never seen a movie Warm Bodies where the dude, it was like after the zombie apocalypse, and the zombie dude, like he starts kind of regaining little bits of his motor function and memories and shit, like music and shit. Then he falls in love with the girl, then he becomes human. Like there's hope after that. So with all that said, hell yeah, put him on the farm. Let him do that shit, man. I'm sick of this generic ass bullshit.
Don't think that. I think the premise might be they built those zombies to kill off other zombies, and the shit just backfired.
Yeah, swallow the spider to kill the fly type shit.
Yeah,
that's what that is.
Yeah. Oh, we thought we could make them so they can kill off the other zombies, so we won't have to lose any more lives. But
yeah,
now we got Uber zombies. Oops.
When the
that
truth
wasn't the intention.
What they really wanted to do was get their name in the journal as being the guy who fucking invented the shit, and so that's why they really did the shit. That's all these scientists do. That's what they really. They don't really care about the fucking end result. They just want to get their name in the journal, man. They'll do any fucking thing. They'll do any fucking thing. But I mean, hey, that's everybody. Everybody got their own. Like, why do we expect scientists to be super noble? If you really want some shit done, go fucking learn science. Mm-hmm. If you think that you'll do some shit, but yeah, oh shit, y'all! It is, man. Listen, I do have to wrap it up, guys. This is one of the best shows we've had in a while. I really thank everybody for coming, man, and kicking it with us. It's been great, man. We thank you guys. Bloodshed Books, welcome to the show. Brandon, welcome, man. It's been great. You guys are welcome anytime. Come back anytime. I'm saying I definitely have your name on the email list. And we're live, guys, every Monday and every Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You will find us in the same spot, chilling, kicking it, talking shit, talking about comics, talking about comic movies, talking about, you know what I mean, pop culture, hip hop, all of that.
But it's like this though. I'm tired of folks, you know what I'm saying? Them closed-minded folks, you know what I'm saying? It's like we got a demo tape and nobody want to hear it, but it's like this, the South got something to say. That's all I got to say.
I remember that.
All right, y'all.
All right, peace, man.
Peace.